We'd have to have Jack here to ratify that as a full beef hero.
Well, I would be more like a meatball.
Shaped like it. So they're not going to give him the tiny. That was one of the questions Ben wanted answered. And they're not going to give him the puck either, so they can't mess around with that, whether they want to put it in the 1 or the 4.
Remaining.
Yeah. Of course, Kinguin really like the Winter as well as the Bounty Hunter support. And there's actually one of the teams that really like the Razor Omni opening as well. So they ban out the Razor.
They also like
they ban out
too.
the Omni. Yeah.
Brood's been one of their most picked.
Kinguin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually surprised.
It should be a contested hero because it's a complexity pick too.
Yeah, it is. But I was actually surprised yesterday that Kinguin was the team that got brooded, because it should always be in the head of them, like in the back of their mind, that Brood is out there.
Look at this. Look, instant Jakiro 1 pick, instant reply clock.
Yeah, Clock is kind of like a hard counter to Jakiro. Jakiro always wants to push out lanes by himself, and then Clock just comes and basically kills you for free.
Annoys him.
You have to be very careful when you're Jakiro. And you have to itemize differently. You can't really go into the Veil first, you need to go 4-step first. And yeah, it's just generally very annoying to play against Clock and Hero. Long cast animations. AA Clock.
The favorite.
It's a very strong combo. If you ever get cocked by Clockwork and the AA is around, you're basically just dead. It offers a lot of damage.
Pretty grim.
Yeah, a lot of solo kill potential too. Well, I say solo kill, but like you hook him, you cock him, and then the AA all flies on top. Pretty much just die.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't really know what to expect from Call, to be honest. They can just pick whatever they see what
Is that half the problem with them?
They go Sanking. I guess they do like their move Sanking.
Do you like the drums build?
I think it's alright, but he shouldn't go Earn and drums. Like if he goes both again, his Blink Dagger is gonna get delayed by another 10 minutes, and that was actually really crucial in one of the losses. I hope he learned a bit from that. I think you can only do it if you really snowball, right? Like you get Blink Dagger, drums, Earn like minute 15, then it's alright. But then you're like already super snowbally. If you're not that snowbally, then you need to be that initiation for your team.
He's more, I think he plays it a little bit differently. I think he actually absorbs a lot of the spells instead of jumping in. So I think that build works a lot better. It's kind of like, you know, drums, Bat Rider. You can do a lot more than just blink in and lasso. You can actually get a lot of damage in.
Yeah, but at the same token, I think you can't just go for the same build every game.
Of course. I definitely agree with that.
Because he has to adjust sometimes, but he does like Earn drums like every game right now.
Maybe he'll get 4-step this game. Maybe. Not. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It reminds me of Lyrical. Shaker getting 4-step first. Wasn't good, man. It makes sense against
If that was in a game with Will, I bet Will was just screaming, Blink Dagger.
Yeah, that's literally what he did after the game. He like watched us, you know, why you could 4-step first. Yeah. I played against Clockwork. Oh, you should have definitely gotten a Blink Dagger, dude.
10 seconds remaining.
It's actually so fun to play with Will. He's getting very absorbed into
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Will was explaining to me earlier, like, he goes one of two ways in most pub games. He's either super demonstrative and tells everyone what to do, or he goes the other way and just plays on his own, doesn't care.
Yeah, and the music on, and
zone out.
Which is what most players do. So they do ban the Tide Hunter.
Ban from compLexity, which has been a really strong ban for them. The only one that's not banned so far, which I'm just going to point out because they banned it in every game of their last 27 games, is Night Stalker.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we didn't see it being picked up in the first 4 picks.
It's only been picked 5 times in this tournament, but it's the most
banned,
contested, and the most banned,
It's usually always picked up in the first phase. Simply because it offers so much. Like, a lot of vision, other position force can't really contest them at nighttime. They might still pick it up.
Team pick.
Lifestealer. I guess Lifestealer Clockwork is quite strong. Then you have AA Lifestealer. Quite a good ban. Bad Rider off lane. Maybe. I don't want to say anything.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I like it versus the Jakiro.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah.
Actually, Jakiro should have a pretty hard game against Clock and Bad Rider.
It's really tough.
Yeah. But then again, it's a position 5, so you hard counter position 5, you're yeah, alright.
We've just picked 3 heroes to counter a 5. We've screwed one of your supports with 3 picks.
Jakiro shall burn. So do we expect that offlane Sanking from compLexity then? I don't really think Z-Freak plays it too much, right? Has he ever played it?
I'm sure he has.
I mean, of course he can play it.
Definitely played it.
Yeah, he has.
Okay.
I mean, what else? Would you prefer something else on Mood then, with this recent Bad Rider pickup?
Well, they really like Abaddon, right? And Abaddon is quite good against Bad Rider if they want to go that route. Sanking, Jakiro, the best pod duo. So much.
Sounds not awful.
Yeah, I mean,
Sounds
it doesn't
doable.
sound terrible.
I don't think it's worth it to pick an Abba though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely sold on the Abaddon, but they seem to make it work. I think they have won both their Abaddon games so far.
Yeah, they have.
2 out of 2, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's like a secret trick to have.
A little bit tougher, I think, with the AA though.
Yeah, AA is definitely good against Abaddon.
Dire team pick.
Weaver is actually an excellent pick. All 3 heroes can't really do too much against Weaver. Weaver lanes really well against Bad Rider. Can kind of leave him alone.
They played offlane sometimes.
Offlane Weaver as well.
Yeah, Moo plays it.
This is a
10
typical
seconds remaining.
It's very open for them.
complexity. But this is what we were talking about the other day. They love these flexi picks where you can
5
play them in a
seconds remaining.
variety of different lanes or positions because it keeps the other team guessing. The Jakiro right now, they played in 3 different lanes.
Yeah.
The Sand King in 2 different lanes and the Weaver in 2 different
But I
lanes.
think with Jakiro, this game is, I don't think you want to have him as a core as all because the other team already counters him so hard.
Yeah,
so
for
like
sure.
Putting him into offlane would kind of play into Kinguin's hands, I think. There's probably going to be
They
Kyle
usually use
Zero,
it with
position
Chessie.
5.
That's definitely
It-
Kyle
yeah,
Zero.
it's usually Chessie if they do move it out of
And carry Jakiro,
5.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm not too sold on the carry Jakiro, so I'm happy they went away from that. They also didn't win that game, right, when they played it? I believe they
They
lost.
won 1 and lost 1 that I've
Radiant
seen.
team
With the
before.
carry Jakiro?
Yeah.
I mean, if you win a game with carry Jakiro, you're an amazing team. So. The Lone
Don't
Druid,
be dissing on the double-headed dragon, dude. It's not on.
dude, I love the double-headed dragon, but
Right.
carry?
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
He's a
10
Like position
seconds
2
remaining.
at most, very situationally. But position 1, no.
5 seconds
Kinguin goes back to the
remaining.
Lone Druid. Well, just the hero that can stay alone on his lane if he wants to. Although, I feel like personally, Lone Druid is quite bad against Weaver. It's not the best matchup for him.
Nope.
Do you think it's good?
No, I don't think it's good.
No, it's quite bad, right?
Yeah.
For him,
Dire
yeah.
team
I'm actually
back.
surprised they pick it
Enchantress.
into that. Can be an offlane inch as well. But it's probably Z-Freak Zero, because he usually plays the junglers.
Hmm?
His Chen is really good, his micro is really good just in general. I'm sure his Enchantress is also going to be very
10
impactful.
seconds remaining.
And it really screws over the Lone Druid as well. And the
5
AA.
seconds
Both
remaining.
Lone Druid and AA, they hate Enchantress. Especially early on, they can't deal with him at all. Kyle in the booth, he's like, yeah, we got this game. Enchantress just outbeat him completely. Wait, who has second pick again? Kinguin, right?
Yes.
What is Kinguin looking for? Need a mid for sure. And their mid needs... They have tower push, they have... Like a team fight mid would be quite good. Something like a DP. DP's quite good against the lineup. Good against the Weaver as well.
Do they need more team fight? I think their team fight's like,
It,
You know,
its team fight
kinda-
is very strong, but like...
I think it's on par with complexities, which I think is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think their team fight's not bad at all, but I think if they get a DP, then their push is going to be very, very hard to stop. And their lanes are very sustainable as well. I'm not entirely sure whether they will, because Nisha... I mean, his DP is really good, but I feel like he shines more on these like flashy kind of heroes. He can like make a lot of space.
Radiant
I'm with you on that.
team ban.
Maybe even like a Quap or something is not bad at all.
Banned.
Banned already?
Yeah.
Oh, they
Just
banned it
banned.
themselves, alright. Bad.
Most of the scaling mids though might have trouble versus an edge.
Yeah, Ench can kind of just roam with you. But then again, the Lone Druid will have a good time if
10
Ench really
seconds remaining.
puts in a lot of time in mid lane.
Could you potentially put Lone Druid mid?
Yeah, Lone Druid
Yeah,
will
I
work.
think Lone
seconds
Druid, actually.
remaining.
I don't know whether Nisha plays it though. It would be Exotic Deer playing it then in the mid lane, and they would kind of do like a lane swap,
Mhm.
which is fine. I'm sure they can do that. But they definitely want to have a more mobility hero for... Like all his blinkers are very good, his TA is very good, his puck is very good, his Quap is very good, but of course they're both banned out as well.
There's only so many heroes that work well with the clock though. I hate the TA clock.
And
Radiant
TA Cloud is not
team
very good,
awful.
yeah. They banned the Storm Spirit, I spoke about the mobility core. And Call really only has like one
Dire
reliable
team
lockdown,
pick.
which is the Sand King stun.
Phantom Lancer.
That pick is honestly amateur.
Dragon Knight.
You may
Dragon
now
Knight.
select your heroes.
Dragon Knight is really good at dealing with PL though.
I think you could just push.
Yeah, you just kind of push them down. If this Lone Druid gets the fast Radiance up, I assume he's not going to range build, because I actually think the range build is not very strong anymore right now.
Do you know what's also against complexity in this game now? DK has been played 6 times so far at this tournament.
And they always won.
And always won.
I mean,
Pretty grim.
I think he's going to win again this time as well.
I like it a little bit more. I think their draft's a little bit greedy. They picked a lot of good cores that counter the Bat Rider, but it's not very good, I think, in the early mid.
I really feel like once this Lone Druid is online and the Dragon Knight, they kind of just group up, it's going to be incredibly hard to stop them. They have like an Epicenter and Jakiro, which can work, but if they blow their stuff and they don't win the team fight, they would just pretty much just siege the base and win.
Okay, in one word, which way are you going?
Win this game.
Kinguin.
All right, both on board the Kinguin steam train for game number 1 as we head back into the arena. Your commentary team for this one, Cap and Blitz.
compLexity heading into a best-of-3 against Kinguin, who've already had a pretty good tournament. Even though they've been knocked down to the lower bracket, they've surely exceeded expectations. And now compLexity not only have to go against them, they have to go against the panel, they have to go against a Kinguin Lone Druid, and supposedly an undefeated Dragon Knight here at this tournament Blitz. It seems like compLexity have a lot of things against them in this game 1. Are you also going to be against them here?
No.
No, you're good.
I'm good.
You're good with their draft. Why? Because it seemed like everyone was pretty pessimistic about the PL. They thought the Dragon Knight was a great pick.
I think that Kinguin eventually will sort of lack for disables. I feel like the cores are just going to be a little bit too mobile.
Okay.
I don't know how successful Clockwork's going to be in a game like this. It's not easy for him to gank any of these cores as well. So I'm going to go with compLexity, and I think I have an undefeated streak in predictions. I'm no longer doing
good work. Good work.
My troll pick the opposite of whatever you pick.
Yes, yes. That did go pretty badly for you.
It says more about you than it does about me.
Wait, no, you went
like
against
in a good
me
way.
all the time.
In a good way.
Okay.
In a good way, dude. Finding arguments for some of those drafts were so complicated.
I could always see Will just like sitting there and thinking, going, and trying to figure out a way he could support the opposite team as me.
Yeah, but this time around, I'm going to go with Cole. I think matchup-wise, too, like in terms of playstyle, this is probably compLexity's easiest match in the top 6. Like, because all the other teams, a lot of those teams have these players that can just like split the map around. But I think for compLexity, Kinguin is probably the easiest to deal with. Not like it's a free win or anything. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if there's a matchup that they like, it's probably this one.
So you're saying the style of Kinguin is going to benefit, like you think they're going to be playing more 5-man and more into compLexity.
Yeah.
And Cole hate it when people try and split push against them. They do have a Lone Druid though. Like the rest of their team is pretty 5-man, yes, but surely Lone Druid can do a good amount of split pushing for you.
And that's the hero that I think if is going to cause any problems for compLexity, it's going to be that one.
Okay. Oh, look at this compLexity switch up here. They're going to run the Sand King mid. So Moo's going to be playing the Sand King against this Dragon Knight to give them a really good 1v1 melee matchup.
Plus you have the Weaver and the aggro, and PL is very good naturally against a lot of these heroes. Like if you put PL safe lane, what are they supposed to do? Like the Bat Rider doesn't like to go to this top area, so they're immediately going to switch. But Weaver doesn't really mind Bat Rider too much. It's one of the better counters in the laning phase anyways to that hero. And I'm not sure the Phantom Lancer cares too much about this Lone Druid either. So potentially here, we could see the very rare 3-lane win.
Yeah, and you've repeatedly said, like, if you win all 3 lanes, it's like almost a guaranteed win.
I don't know if it's a guaranteed win, but the game becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because it's straightforward. I made a point on the panel, I was like, when everyone has a good start, it's very easy to make calls, right? Because everyone can contribute. They all have a feel for the game. When you're doing well in the game, every Dota player knows, like from any level on, it becomes so much easier to play because you understand like how strong you are. And so that's what the 3-laning advantage gives you, aside from like the gold in the last hits.
Right. So everyone's got a game plan. Everyone's able to make a call for some sort of rotation or movement, take an objective. And the game just becomes, in a lot of ways, straightforward when you're so far ahead, right? And just kind of run into the enemy.
Yeah.
You're happy with that.
And you get to be an influencer.
Z-Freak's currently trying to be an influencer. 4-position Enchantress. He's playing in the enemy jungle, trying to help out the Weaver a little bit, but honestly, the Weaver doesn't really need it too much, so I think Z-Freak could probably play a pretty greedy Enchantress game and not have to help out the lanes overly much.
Yeah, and in mid already, we see the annoyance of the Sand King.
Yeah, Jesus, Nisha is having some big trouble with this.
Yeah, he's already brought himself a fresh set of tangos. Eventually the regen will kind of topple this.
Yeah.
And it won't be as large of an issue. Like he'll get Soul Ring, and coupled with the 2 levels of Dragon Blood, like that's a lot of health regen.
Do you think he even considers a 3rd level? At level 5?
I don't think so. I think you go 2 and 2. As
They're going to go for the dive though onto Nisha, already leading with the Golem. That's only 1 stun. Hey, Kazor's actually got a man pick up the haste route. He's going to be able to block both of them with the Cons, with Liasach here as well. They're going to try and get the kill on a Mu, and Mu has no mana to be able to fight this one, so he just turns, gets whatever damage he can before the first blood is given away. The Ancient Apparition.
Very well done. Really nice rotation. And normally that doesn't work if the Sand King has stun. He can almost always get out. But as a result, very easy kill for them. CSing wise, it's still in pretty decent favor.
Yep.
Although this Bat Rider is doing a lot better than I expected, and I suspect it's because of the tri-lane that they were setting up.
Yeah, the Clockwork was continually trying to just zone out the Weaver.
Yeah. So that would make a little bit more sense, but like PL, even with the Lone Druid so far, the Sand King was up 7 CS on the Dragon Knight. Pretty significant amount so far early on. Nothing too unexpected here, though.
Are we trying to time this gank with the Golems breaking apart? Looks like it. So he's going to have 3 different range stunts to throw down. This is going to be tough for Kinguin to be able to deal with this if they get spotted. Liasach is currently hiding in the trees, and the Bat Rider can make an easy escape. Clockwork is on with the top left. So Z-Freak doesn't see an easy opportunity, but as the creeps push in, they are going to go for this tower dive. See the Clockwork, and they're turn on to him. Now he actually gets the con over Kyle, and Bat Rider's going to try and fly over, and they're going to kill Liasach first, and then go for Kazor. That's going to be a pretty easy support kill. Pesos is going to try and at least get 1 in return, trying to fly over Kyle. Gets the flame break to help him get the kill, and it looks like he is going to be able to get out. compLexity, though, are able to make the favorable trade 2-1.
Yeah, very nice trade by them. Their tri-lane obviously being a bit stronger because it's so hard to kill this Weaver or pressure him. Like, Chessie will be hard-pressed to die in this lane, and the power of this Enchantress creeps a little bit too strong right now. He's going to bring the next set of creeps over. Mu picks up an Illusion Rune, and we're starting to see the regen output from the Dragon Knight being very successful.
The Golems again are going to slow down, and he takes the time to be able to get the Ghost. So if he can actually get the Ghost latch onto Liasach here, maybe they can get the kill, but it's just not quite in range. Liasach is able to keep his movement. Gets out of there. Now Kazor's actually going to try and see if he can stop the Enchantress. Only bumps him back with a cause.
I think he just TPs right now.
Yeah, they're going to spot him out, but Flame Break no longer canceling TPs means that there's no way for them to be able to stop him.
He's trying to run away with his creeps. Poor Ghost Lady, though, will die without having done anything.
Looks like the little Golems will be able to... Oh, nice job pulling the easy camp over to at least grab 2 of those melee creeps and hopefully deny them.
Yeah, mid lane. Right now, lane being shoved in as Mu continues to do okay. And his hero will pay dividends early on. Getting a Blink Dagger will be very nice for him. The downside is I'm not sure what he does when Dragon Knight just like pops his Dragon form with this wave.
Yeah.
This is what makes DK really strong. 99% of pros, pretty much everybody knows this, but when you hit 6 around that time, the first siege creep also spawns, so you almost always want to push in with it. Even if you don't take the tower directly, it's very useful to be able to pressure the tower.
Oh, good ensnare there. The Phantom Lancer is not going to go for the kill on Exotic Deer.
So you see in this situation though, like Mu, what he opts to do there is he pushes in the lane as far as he can, tries to get rid of the siege creep, and he forces Nisha to essentially waste his first Dragon form.
Yeah.
And that's going to be important for him because it keeps the lane stability up. It doesn't put pressure on Mu's tower. You don't just give Dragon Knight a tower for free, which is often what ends up happening when you play against these DKs.
Oh, they caught Chessie, and they are going to be able to get the kill. He burns under the fire. Really good gank from the Clockwork. Yeah, it looks like Kyle's going to try and get the kill on Exotic Deer. This would be a huge one, but he did have magic stick charges, and he actually baits Kyle into doom as Nisha, we saw earlier, pushed out by the Sand King, was farming up neutrals. Just happened to be in a good position to help get that kill onto compLexity. So 2-4 right now, slight lead for Kinguin.
Yeah, it's barely a K, so not that big, but the cores on Kinguin are actually doing quite well for themselves. I thought this Enchantress would have a little bit more impact, maybe roam mid a few more times, but Nisha is very tanky. He is going to get gone on.
They're going to be able to kind of block him in here, but Nisha's just going to turn and start going for Mu. Liasach was in front of him, and they are able to body block him just enough to be able to get the stun from Nisha. Well played by Liasach, making the most of his laning phase Ancient Apparition. Not the easiest hero to play in the early game, but he's doing what he can here.
Just diving a Dragon Knight under tower.
Yeah, pretty risky.
Yeah, it just feels like they're getting a little bit more desperate. so far, the laning phase would be okay, but they make these aggressive maneuvers, and unfortunately, Sand King's initiation is also his escape.
Yeah. They easily could have chipped that tower down quite a lot. With the Enchantress creeps there, plus the Jakiro, the liquid fire.
And then you give some room to your cores.
Instead, they go to the dive and are met with disaster. So Moo's actually going to rotate out of lane here. Heads up the top. Chessie's still chilling out here, maybe thinking the Bat Rider will assume he's left lane. Maybe go for a dive or something. I don't know. It's kind of a weird setup from Cold right now.
It feels like they're getting a little bit desperate to make something happen. They're rotating a lot of heroes to do essentially nothing right now. Like, they're not finding any easy kills, and Kinguin are playing very well around that. They understand the way that complexity plays, I think. They want to force these fights, and if you just play passive-aggressive is a good way to put it.
Yeah. Be willing to fight, but don't force it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let them come into you, then make a bunch of snide remarks.
And classic Swindlemelons. He takes things one step further.
He's aggressive-aggressive.
He's aggressive-aggressive. And that's exactly what Complexity is doing right now. They're trying to force things. It's turning out a little hard for them. Now they are going to defend Nisha as he tries to push into this tier 1 tower, but with a haste rune on the clockwork again. Really dangerous to fight into that area. So Complexity. This game is still very even, and they are going to go for another push to see if this one's going to be a bit more successful than the previous attempts.
Their supports are kind of holding things up, holding them above water.
Ooh, look at this wraparound, though, coming in from Kinguin. The full wrap from the clockwork from behind. See if he can set up already. Battery assault intel. They're going to be able to 10 Z-Freak here. Cogs pushback, but that is going to be the end of his life. Fortunately, the Weaver was able to get out, and that's the important hero.
Yeah, trying to find an angle on Chessie, but fortunately, Chessie was just able to get out of there. And in mid lane, they're trying to harass back Nisha, who is kind of acting like as a pseudo Dusa, where with this high regen, he's just holding this mid tower.
Are scanning.
Eventually, it is going to get chipped down.
It's kind of a war of attrition, though.
Yeah.
Like, can you outlast the Breathe Fire Soul Ring?
Dire's middle tower.
We can see our Phantom Lancer dropping pretty low. Doesn't look like he can. Chessie trying to go for the kill here on Exotic Tier. There is the Savage Roar. Now Chessie's still going to try and chase him with the Shikuchi. Go underneath the tower. Go for the dive. Exotic Tier goes into the tree. Tries to hide himself, and a time lapse is going to be forced out from Chessie. Not willing to make that dive. An attempted Century catch, but Clockwork not able to get close enough for the Cogs in middle lane. Nisha going to be slowed down, but Limp's not actually going for the kill. At top lane, they actually brought the Bat Rider a little bit low. But it's just Complexity poking at all these heroes, but not actually able to get a kill anywhere.
It actually looks like they're healing Nisha.
Yeah.
It's like such an absurd amount of HP regen.
And he's got 3 levels of Dragon Blood. He's got Soul Ring. He's got Treads.
He's even going to pop the Shrine with him in the Bat Rider. The Bat Rider inching in on that Blink Dagger, but and just look at his raw HP health. It's like 17 a second on top of the 1500 pre-existing health he has.
Glyph is going to be used here, as with the double Satyrs and the Siege Wagon, they are trying to force it. Z-Freak could probably take the enemy Siege Wagon as well pretty soon here. They're going for the kill onto Nisha, though, and with the bug on him, all that armor is going to start getting chipped away, but he's able to kill the bug. The Bat Rider coming in, they see him to get the Lasso onto the Phantom Lancer, but they don't have enough damage. The Bat Rider's dropping low. Maybe PL keep doppelganger out. Not in time. Looks like it was just a bit too much damage, and Chessie wasn't able to get the kill on the Bat Rider either. In fact, even Nisha, who's dropping dangerously low, Chessie does not feel comfortable pursuing that. With his time lapse on cooldown, he heads up to this high ground area. Elisash seemingly kind of trying to bait him almost. He does have Ice Blast available. And a level 6 on Clockwork. They are going to be able to block it down here. The Ice Blast, maybe Chessie held it late. They don't even need it. He doesn't have the time lapse. There's no way to be able to get out those cogs. So Complexity may have taken that tier 1 tower, but it has been a costly measure for Complexity, losing hero after hero in that mid lane.
Yeah, definitely thought that this Weaver would be unkillable in a game like this, but this Clock has just been able to lock him down every time. He's just getting outplayed right now. And they keep making the maneuver on this mid tower because they understand the importance of it. If you can take the enemy DK's mid tower, it helps quite a lot. You don't have to worry about it so much. Even if he trades at that point, you accept it. But this is a Dragon Knight that has 1600 health, a magic wand loaded up, so much armor, 9 armor additional to go along with his 8 that already exists, and like the 20 HP regen a second.
Oh, unlucky timing there for Kinguin. Chessie ends up running into the smoke attempt. They're going to go for the wraparound on mid, see if they can get a kill and turn that into a push, but instead, their gank attempt is totally foiled.
And it's going to be a 4-staff first item for Moo. Pretty curious choice. I think he understands.
He keeps on doing this. The earn drums every single time, like just, and even now the 4-staff, he seems to be willing to slow down the Blink Dagger longer amounts than any other player that I've ever seen.
Yeah, just going for the tank up build. I did see him go phase boots once on Tide. So I don't know if I agree with all of his ideas.
Yeah. Do you agree with this idea?
It's kind of okay in a game like this. I think that Sand King almost always needs Blink eventually.
Yeah. Does mean they're not going to have that crisp, clean initiation.
Yeah. I guess it's a bit different because you're a ranged stun and your ulti, it's not as reliable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, how many situations are you going to get in where they'll let you epicenter without a Blink Dagger?
I mean, especially since they do have pretty good follow-up with the Jakiro. Like, I would imagine a Blink Epicenter Burrow Strike and an Ice Path over the top with maybe a, you know, Dual Breath or something. Like, that kills anybody almost. Yeah. Like, Dragon Knight might survive, but I'm pretty sure Lone Druid would die, and he's one of the harder heroes to take down with that Savage Roar.
I guess he's not quite a hero like Earthshaker where you need the insta.
Yeah.
Especially for your ulti, because the positional play is so important. Being able to be a little bit more survivable on a hero like Sand King. It's like, I think Mumiander used to build Poet on that hero like 3rd item every time, because this hero thrives on being able to get multiple stuns off.
Yeah. They do manage to take the tier 2 at top lane. Kinguin really aren't getting too many objectives in return. They've only taken the enemy save lane tower so far.
Bottom tower is under attack.
But that is because their lineup's kind of ramping up, right? Like, Lone Druid really doesn't do anything for you just yet. The Bat Rider only has his Blink Dagger. Hell, not so long ago, we didn't even have the supports having their level 6. Peytos is going to be gone on here by Lin. They do have the enchantments here with Blue to be able to follow with the first strike. That's pretty easy. Now, they get Clockwork on top of Chessie, but the time lapse is there and able to get out of the ice spot that was following up. And now our Clockwork is just going to be marooned in an island of cogs, trapped by compLexity on all sides. 4 to 8 now. They pick up 2 kills on top of that tier 2 tower. And it doesn't look like Kinguin's really getting a whole lot done anywhere else.
They're okay though. The pace of the game I think is still very favorable. They've almost got a Radiance on this Lone Druid. And if there's one thing that compLexity hates, it's these heroes that I think just shove in the waves.
They're going to go for the kill on Chessie. They may have a chance to install up move, and they do manage to get the hold on barely. With the Cold Fiend from Elisage locking down Chessie, Moo just wasn't enough to be able to save his Weaver. The Bat Rider actually searching for more with his Blink Dagger, but that is pretty deep, my friend.
They really want this mid tower, if possible, but there's no rush for them, because during this entire time, whenever these engagements do happen, Exotic Deer is just farming with the Lone Druid. It doesn't seem like he cares at all. And once he gets this Radiance, it's really hard for compLexity to counter push against it.
Right.
Like, the illusions from PL are too weak right now to fight against it. The Sand King doesn't enjoy the burn.
So is that going to be the play from Kinguin? They're just going to play more split push off the Radiance, or do you think they're actually going to start fighting compLexity more?
I think you actually just sit back and allow your team to form in.
Black was successfully on the move, but he just turns around after his stun, gets off Burrow Strike, and an Ice Blast is going to be able to finish him off. So Moo goes down, Nisha's going to be the next target here. The Bat Rider ends up falling, maybe with Z-Freak throwing out the 3 damage from the Impetus shot. They might be able to kill him, but oh no, now Katsworth's going to be able to come and grab Z-Freak, but there is a 4-staff able to get him out of those cogs underneath the tier 1 tower. Limp is actually just wanting to be able to finish off this tier 1, take away that pesky TP point. Maybe they can actually kill the heroes behind it now as Nisha is going to get gone off by Kenku, wrapped all the way around, does get locked in by the Cold Feast. Katsworth thinks about going for the kills, but can't actually. Now he throws down the cogs, but he's trapped inside his own cogs next to the tier 2, surrounded by Phantom Lancer illusions. There's no way out for him. Looks like compLexity just found a huge fight for themselves and are going to be able to take the opportunity to get more damage on objectives, pushing for that tier 2 bid.
Yeah, but meanwhile, news report. There's a Lone Druid on the loose.
Blitzer, you are side lane reporter.
Yeah, I'm
breaking
giving
down
you
the Lone Druid.
I'm giving you the real news. Even though it looks like compLexity just stopped the fight, which they did.
Yeah. I mean, you're like very positive about where Kinguin's at right now, and it could be even more. doesn't look like our Batrider's really going to be able to do a whole lot here. He's just slowing down limbs.
Yeah,
so.
he has no lasso, but just an unfortunate fight. They got run over quite quickly.
Yeah.
It starts with the initiation. Like, they opt to go on the Sand King first, but he just stuns in, and the entire backline is open, and they engage from the front. They do manage to grab the Sand King, but their heroes just started getting picked off one by one, and you see the Enchantress. This is where she's very effective, where she gets to just rip into this Dragon Knight. Like, her impetus shots are dealing so much damage there. And it was their reluctance to give up that mid-tower. Like, I think you give up that mid-tower, you start counter-pushing, you just shove in bottom a little bit more, you take over the enemy jungle. But they've been so successful at defending that.
It's not a Batrider, but Batrider does actually grab Boom, but he's so far away from the rest of his team. Looks like the clockwork also initiated onto Kyle, but a Force Staff managed to get him out of there before the Ice Blast lands. So now with the bugs all on the Kinguin, they're going to go for the pursuit. Who's going to go for the kill on the clockwork? See if they can chase anything else down. Looks like the Batrider was able to blink away, and Nisha with the Shadow Blade and the Dragon Knight was able to get out as well. So it attempted a very deep dive by Kinguin. They must have felt that their Radiance just, they really wanted to force a fight off of that Radiance, but they just tried far too hard.
Yeah, you gotta wait for that item. It's such a big upgrade in the hero. Like, the Sacred Relic itself is pretty negligible. Once you grab that Radiance, it's really hard for compLexity to fight you.
Yeah.
You have one heal in the form of your Enchantress heal. You don't have something like a mech or a pipe. And so it's quite easy to just get on top of that. And so far, compLexity are just out teamfighting them now with the double Force Staffs. That is the benefit of the 2 early Force Staff pickups, is that even though you don't have the Blink Dagger or anything of that nature, you're still going to be able to outplay them. Like, nobody's getting cogsed anymore. The follow-up damage isn't there when everyone just gets forced around the map. Like, that's the strength of that item. And that's why I thought that the clockwork would kind of just fall off.
I mean, I can't believe they, like, I actually thought they had Radiance because they were trying to force it so hard, but he actually just needs 5 more gold until he's got that item. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, you were so optimistic about Kinguin's chances, and you were saying, look, they're in a really good position because they almost have this Radiance. They haven't lost as much map control as they probably should have by now, and I can only imagine if they had actually kept this game a little bit cleaner and just not fought into some of these fights against compLexity, give away some of these kills on top of that mid tower and maybe that top tier 2 as well, that Kinguin would actually be leagues ahead of compLexity.
Yeah, but I think that they're still in a pretty good position. This Lone Druid is still 1,500 net worth above any other hero in the game.
So despite all of this, like, you started out this game saying, look, I think compLexity is going to do it. This is a good PL game. You really think that despite that mid-fight that just happened, that the multiple pickoffs they've gotten, even that tier 2 situation at top lane, you still think that they're actually behind in a way, that they still haven't reached the momentum that they should have?
Yeah, I think the laning phase should have gone a lot better for them.
Do you, like, what would you say? Like, you think they're supposed to be up like 5K or something by now?
I think they can be up that much.
Yeah.
The downside, though, is like they keep losing this Weaver who needs to be a secondary core with this Phantom Lancer. Like, he needs to hit hard, and especially with the type of mobility that he has in a game like this.
He is not progressing in items whatsoever. He's still sitting at 5K net worth.
He's got a wand and a Blightstone. Like, those are his significant items so far.
Yeah. So net worth all around, like, everyone's kind of happy except for this Weaver. Like, when Enchantress is above you, you know you got problems.
That's nice, though, that your Enchantress is that farmed. Yeah. She's not an insignificant threat at all. Like, she's going to be one of the more useful heroes against this Dragon Knight and this Lone Druid. Like, her impetus shots are going to be really effective.
Yeah, Lone Druid likes to be able to keep his range. Enchantress is happy with that. The Dragon Knight, super tanky with all that extra armor, but the pure damage just cuts him down pretty well.
You do quite a lot there.
So if we're going to take this from Kinguin's perspective, especially since they're just about to pick up the Radiance, what would you be doing, Will? Give me the shot call.
Okay, so do they have a smoke? Yeah, they do. Okay,
yep, they
so do. The downside is that they pop Dragon Form for this. It gets a little bit more complicated, but as soon as you have Firefly, I think you shove out top lane using the bear.
Okay.
And you just go for a smoke. Somebody goes to shove out top, then you go for a smoke. I don't know if you have to necessarily wait for Nisha's Dragon Form again. I think that the Radiance upgrade is a lot to begin with. Probably need Firefly too. So everybody just shove out lanes and in 60 seconds meet up and go push.
Well, unfortunately for Kinguin, Nisha's not going to have an easy time to push out top lane. He is a little bit skittish about being around this Weaver, so He heads to neutrals for the time being. Batrider is doing what you wanted, though. He shoved down a lane, TP back.
Yeah, and in 50 seconds, he'll have his ultimate, and you want to wait on that. There's no reason not to. There's a timing that exists where it'll very closely overlap with when Nisha gets his ulti farm back anyways.
Yeah.
And if you win a fight, then you can do a lot of options there. Like, you can grab that tier 1 tower mid yourself and then go into Roshan, I think is the best overall play. Maybe even just go straight into Roshan if you feel like you deserve that mid tower. 20 seconds until battled. You can smoke with 5 seconds remaining.
Lone Druid pushed out mid with his bear, but I
Somebody
think
needs to shove out top again.
Yeah, Chessie's done a really good job. He has not left top lane. He's made sure to shove this in as many times as possible, and it makes Kinguin's current group up attempt kind of awkward because soon Creeps are going to be banging on their tier 3.
Yeah, they're also spotted the entire time by this bottom ward from compLexity. I think...
What is their clockwork? Okay.
Pretty sure it feels though Exotic Dionysus and Despair up top. Like, that's the hero that I wanted up there anyways. Because the Dragon Knight's not going to feel comfortable pushing in that area. They have no ward there. It's, when you lose your first 2 towers, it's impossible to get that.
No, a jump onto the Batrider. They managed to get the initiation on the initiator. Kinguin. Another pickoff for compLexity.
Yeah, now things are getting a little bit more rough than they should. Like, Despair is still shoving in waves, but you got to be able to be ready for something right after that. Like, you shove in that wave, everybody should be somewhat grouped near each other, ready to smoke, at least. That top wave, though, is unplayable for any of the Kinguin heroes.
Yeah. Like,
no one's going to be happy going up there with no vision, no tier 1, no tier 2. Shrine is there, of course, they have moved that, but even then, you might not get there in time.
Chessie, again, just underlining the importance of keeping top lane pushed in. Shows up top again, even throws the swarm onto the creep wave just to help kill it a little bit faster.
Yeah, and this is where lane shove really matters for people that still don't quite understand the concept is if you have somebody shoving in this wave at all times and it immediately gets to your tier 3 and no one goes to defend that, then you can play process elimination and understand where they are. So Kinguin, it's still a secret.
They're definitely not keeping this a secret that they are full-on 5-manning mid.
Look at the top.
But it's, their tier 3 is going to start taking damage with a Siege Wagon too. So they take this tier 1, but they almost have to immediately start trekking it up to top lane. They are going to try and catch. They're too smoked up still. See if they can catch the Weaver from behind, but Weaver's already TP'd back. Chessie does finally get an item. He's beginning to get some net worth back into his pockets. He's got a Diffuser Blade at least. One of many items that he still needs.
It's good enough, though.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He can play the defensive game with his team's 4 staffs.
Yeah. And because so many heroes had to rotate up to top lane, they actually just got a free tier 1 at bottom lane. I guess when you talk about... Teams like compLexity always like to be able to have some supports that push. Jakiro, they pick it up constantly, but the Enchantress is a great example of a support that gives you that kind of power as well.
Yeah. And she's also a safe push because you can just enchant 2 creeps.
Yeah, what's going to happen? They're going to gank your neutrals.
Yeah, you don't care too much. It's a very easy way to get information.
Yeah.
And in competitive games, information like that is so valuable when you just can eliminate where potential targets can and can't be.
They're actually killing or trying to kill the bear. It's actually going to TP out.
Yeah, speaking of the Sand King Hood that we were talking about, he's going to go for it.
Yeah.
They really need it, though. The Radiance Burn is going to be horrible for them to deal with. Especially in team fights.
How many more items are we going to say the Sand King needs before it's actually the Blink Dagger that he needs? Like, surely this is the last item before he goes Blink.
I could see him go for, like, Shiva.
You think you can delay Blink that much?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Just tank up. Become like a cute centaur.
Has Jack infected you with his ideas of Dota?
Jack's crazy, man.
Just give him the beef.
Jack really wants Phantom Lancer to be a thing. So if he's rooting for anybody back at home...
Yeah, he's definitely rooting for Cole.
Yeah.
I saw that guy lose a lot of Phantom Lancer games. TP out from Kyle. Batrider's going to spot Chessie, though. They don't have a follow-up stun, though. Clockwork is so far away. But Chessie is definitely stuck inside the trees. He's going to go for the TP out. And the hook shot. It's up, but it's not there.
He had the range for it.
Yeah, he did. Either way, though, Chessie gets out. compLexity are getting a pretty hefty push coming in bottom lane. With the Phantom Lancer picking up the Illusion Rune, plus Kyle joining it. And Kinguin trying to force things at the top lane, but look at that damage from Z-Freak. That is a support that is now turned core. He's going to turn his damage on Anisha as well. He's going to slow down the Diffuser Blade. Look at him just poking at Kinguin. Now, fortunately, our Clockwork's there to be able to zone back a lot of the heroes, but it's going to cost him his life. It looks like his limb comes in to be able to slow him down with the Diffuser Blade. He ripped him apart. Now, Moo trying to get a jump on an Exotic Deer, but a TP away is successful. Now maybe they can catch the Lone Druid Bear. Yeah, they got it down. Slowed down by the Diffuser Blade with a swarm on it as well.
Oh my word, Impetus does so much damage in this game. Yeah. Like, he is chunking heroes, and they can't get to him either. Like, their heroes aren't good at dealing with him. No. The best thing that they can do is grab him with the Batrider, because Batrider is excellent against Enchantress. Like, you can mess up her turn rate. You could burn through a heal pretty easily with just like 2 or 3 stickies and your Firefly. But him going down first was like the most disastrous thing for him. Because as a result, Z-Freak was like, I guess I'm the carry now. Yeah. He has 400 more net worth than his Weaver, so maybe they didn't have like the best matching cores. Like their cores weren't able to keep up, but Z-Freak has definitely kept up. Like he has more net worth than both the enemy supports combined. Yeah. And if you double that, it's pretty close.
I mean, how many times have you watched a compLexity game and it's Z-Freak who really is the determining factor between a win and a loss?
Holy
compLexity.
That's so much.
Yeah.
He almost doubles their combined net worth. And it's only 25 minutes, sorry. Yeah. That's absurd. And this hero, he's the best at dealing with those. Like, they prioritize him correctly. But it's not even like their Jakiro's underfarmed either from all this tower gold. Like, he's got a Veil.
Yep.
And they're going to go for a high ground here. They're going to try to surprise Kinguin into thinking, like, this is only a Weaver hitting it, and now they're going to run up with all the heroes and reveal their surprise.
And all of a sudden, Kinguin, they have to start either mass TPing back or just go for a shove of their own, and it looks like they are going to do that now. Clockwork's going to try and stall things up as much as possible, and compLexity are not daunted at all. They're going to keep going, and they're going to be able to kill the Phantom Lancer easily, taking up the Clockwork, and the push happens at bottom lane. So Kinguin have given up a hero. They're going to try and make the trade here. Muad's actually able to get away, backing away from the Dragonite, but he's not able to stop the TP back. So it looks like Dragonite is going to be able to complete his TP straight onto an ice path, though, of Kyle. And it looks like Kinguin are not going to really be able to catch anything as compLexity are able to back out safely. But they did trade. Maybe it wasn't a full lane of racks, but at least they got the melee racks at bottom lane.
What an awkward situation.
Yeah.
It's rare that you see that. That's one of the very, very few times where I've seen teams just decide to trade sides like that.
Yeah.
With everybody up. That's the weird part too, is that everybody was alive.
And I think Moo realizes that he made a mistake. He tried to contest that push when really he could have just let it go and said, okay, they're going to take a lane of rags, but I'm going to stop their TP. Yes. And my team's going to go for 2.
I think that was the correct idea.
Realized a bit too late.
That's also the downside of not having a Blink Dagger, though, is it's not easy for you to get in and stop that. Like,
he's got it now, though.
Yeah, but still, that's just weird. Like, this circumstance is a little bit unique.
Ooh, that is a invisible Phantom Lancer that just ran into a smoked up Batrider who's taking his shots all the way to the high ground. Get out of here. Z-Freak is able to find more. Chessie is actually going to be slowing down LE Slash Man to get the swarm onto him. They're a little bit skittish, though, with full on just charging at Kinguin. They're going to just kind of open down. Everyone's getting more. Now they're trying to run Hunter Nietzsche, but they are low on heroes. It looks like they're going to be losing Catcher as well. They need to get Limp pretty low, but he's hiding into the trees. Nietzsche can't seem to get to him. And Limp starts making his way out of there with the Doppelganger now bottling up. So Kinguin, they're going to keep their 2 cores alive, but they couldn't actually do much in that turnaround. They only brought down the Weaver.
Yeah, and you're starting to see the 4-position trade-off is so immense, and this is why I thought that compLexity had the advantage. It's because this Enchantress is going to be the most effective hero in this game at some point.
Yeah.
Whereas this Clockwork, yes, he did so much in the early game, but you don't feel his impact anymore. It also goes along with his item choices. He decided to go for the Blade Mail. He doesn't have a Force Staff of his own, so he can't keep up with the pace of the game. As soon as he throws down cogs, he's actually just trapping himself in there.
Yeah.
Like, nobody fears that. That is a one-man Battle Dome specifically made for you. The supports have Force Staffs now. Even Kyle's picked up one for himself. They've hard countered this hero. You don't feel his presence in the game anymore. This Enchantress is going for a Silver Edge, almost has a 2. Once she grabs that, the DK is going to be absolute food for her.
Do you think the Clockwork should have gone Force Staff then? Seeing
I
how
think
this
he
game
definitely
is
should have
played
gone
out.
Force.
When
It's not even like how this game played
now.
out. It's he saw that everybody had a Force Staff in that initial mid engagement. Remember when he caught them?
Yeah.
They had 2 Force Staffs at that point. They had very early Force Staffs, so you need to be able to match these heroes and run after them. If you can't get on top of heroes as Clockwork, well, you're just a hook shot because your cogs don't do too much. You have to have the ability to also like cogs them on one side or another. You can't just hook anymore, immediately lay down the cogs and assume that they're stuck.
Seafreak can start going hunting. You're going to see it here. He's going to taste the rainbow. Here it goes. Oh, doing so many misses, but
Godlike is getting another one.
And he's going to get another one. Beyond Godlike with a double kill for Seafreak as he says thank you very much to Limp for helping him out to bring the Clockwork down. And they're going to turn, head towards Roshan.
You might as well just give him the Aegis too.
Honestly, you might as well.
He's really close to the top of net worth for his team. This is not a 4-position Enchantress. She buys wards for no one.
She is a strong, independent, prancing deer lady.
Respect his power as a core. Oh,
yeah.
He hits so hard.
And now, compLexity are up 11,000 gold. They're about to finish up that Silver Edge. Our Phantom Lancer is looking quite strong as he's trying to finish up a Scotty. And hell, even Chessie, who's had a rough game, he's looking towards finally getting that Lincoln's.
He can afford to because they essentially have 4 cores right now.
yeah.
Like
normally, take a back seat here, Chessie. You're now the 4 position.
Normally, this might be an issue, but in this game, it's just kind of bolstered Z-Freak's farm. He's like, look, I know normally you're the carry, but just hands off the wheel for a bit.
Run interference for me. I mean, we said at the beginning, right? Like, the way the lanes were set up, he could play super greedy.
Yes, he did. He just farmed the entire time. Like, even when they were losing, he was still hitting creeps. And we're seeing that pay absolute dividends. You've invested in Chessie, or into Z-Freak, and now they're going to be really happy with that, because he's got a full Silver Edge Hurricane Pike. Now he's the real target for Kinguin. You can't let this Enchantress just sit back and chuck spears anymore.
So how do we do that? Hey, it's just Bat Rider. He's got to get the last
Bat Rider keeps trying to get on top of him, but he just never finds the angle, and then he gets Hurricane Piked.
Yeah.
It's like, who finds who first? Because when Chessie gets on top of him with that Silver Edge, he just Hurricane Pikes him away, throws like 5 spears, and he dies instantly. You can't do anything about it.
Setting out on the right-hand side, he's just going to go for the easy stuff on Anisha, closing out an early BKB. The Clockwork does manage to get the hook in on Z-Freak in the back line, but he immediately gets out of there. Nisha turns instead, going for Moo, who doesn't really have an escape mechanism out of this when at least off the back line, so looks like he's going to burn out. Chessie goes to back heel. Now Nisha no longer having the BKB. He's going to get ripped apart by the Phantom Lancer. Easy food for him. That's 4 down from Kinguin. A bit making his way out. Exotic Deer barely able to TP out in time, but a huge win for compLexity. Maybe they didn't save their tower. They didn't save Moo either. The fight was well worth it for them. Oh, okay. All right. They did lose Kyle.
Yeah. Deer does manage to pick up the kill with his bear. Man. They tried so hard to kill Z-Freak there. They went in. The Dragon Knight even committed. That's why he died. He tried to Silver Edge hit the Enchantress. Like, he all-in committed for that, got really out of position. Like, they're starting to get desperate trying to chase this Deer.
I mean, let's be very clear. Our Clockwork, he can't just cog the Enchantress, right?
No, she's going to Force Staff away every time.
You have to push her into your team.
Yes. That's the only way that they're going to win this fight. This isn't the beginning of Bambi. Like this.
Just not a free kill for the Hunters.
This Z-Freak is...
this is Bambi 2.
I know I've mentioned it a lot.
Blood.
I know I mentioned it a lot, and you know, I'm sure people are getting sick and tired of it. It was like, he's got 13k net worth. He's barely behind the Phantom Lancer.
Oh, look at Lick. He's just hunting some worth at this point. He gets the Ancient Apparition. Looks like a pretty easy kill. Oh, he actually doesn't jump into the cogs, but it doesn't matter. So does all of his illusions. Yeah, they're going to go for high ground here. Kinguin forced to defend. They do have a buyback on the Ancient Apparition with the Ice Blast still up. Immediately blows it. But Tier 3 is still in trouble.
Yeah, Glyph is popped. Exotic Deer trying to create space on the opposite side of the map. They force the buyback, they get some kills. They're going to be quite happy with this. The Lone Druid is still trying to do whatever he can, but I don't think he expected a game like this. Kinguin thought all along, well, we've got the better heroes in terms of like the core matchups, we'll be really tanky, but
They didn't quite factor in all the heroes.
Yep. Gotta think about those supports too.
Yeah. This lone druid is still absurdly farmed. 21k net worth. Has a Vlad's, AC, Maelstrom, Radiance. Almost has the fully completed Mjolnir on top of that. But it just doesn't feel like he does enough with the rest of his team. They need Patos to do more in these fights. Like Patos and their 2 initiations have to be better right now for them to win this game.
Well, even Nisha is still decently farmed. He's 3rd in net worth.
Yes. But he can't Silver Edge walk up to people anymore.
No.
They need the Clockwork and the Batrider to force better engagements for them.
It's all about the initiation for Kinguin, and for the last 20 minutes, they have not found a good one. Kaya now for Kyle. That's not too many times you're going to be able to say that.
Dude, normally I see Kyle with like double buckler.
Yep.
That's his life. Not this game.
Here he's got Force, Veil, Buckler, and a Kaya.
He's level 19. He's 5 levels ahead of their Batrider. Everybody from compLexity is having such a free game right now. Cole, now they're hitting this mid tower. They're going to grab it. Racks are now exposed. Kinguin, they've got to make a choice here. The bat initiation is going to be so crucial for them. We talked about it. You get one good shot at this. Aegis has faded.
They're not getting it. They tried to Shadowblade run in with Nisha. Not able to do so. They do at least finish up the Mjolnir for Exotic Deer. That'll help them deal with the Phantom Lancer a little bit better.
This Dragon Knight didn't even, or this Jakiro didn't even take the XP gain talent. I thought he did. I was like, how is he so leveled?
He goes for the 150 gold over the 2 times Dragon Blood.
Yeah. I think he realizes like it doesn't matter too much anymore, especially with the Silver Edge on the other side. Like he just needs to scale hard.
Yeah, and he's trying to get a halberd. Z-Freak starts going for the kill. Push back at the same time as they go for the sun. Now they need a vision of it, but he managed to get outside of the range of this. They're going to jump onto the Enchanter. See if they can blow him off. They are successful. Pretty easy kill. A jump back from Chessie just ahead of that hook shot. He is able to time lapse to safety. They weren't able to save their secondary carry of this game, though. Z-Freak goes down for the first time in a long time.
They needed that. Anytime the Batrider can jump the Enchantress, you have to take that at this point.
Yeah.
They might have thought at first, oh, get rid of Mu, he's their stun. But no, it's really the Enchantress or the Phantom Lancer that'll cause them the most issues.
And part of that was they attempted to go on to Nisha.
Yes.
And they got counter-initiated on. Otherwise, he would have had Hurricane Pike, and he might just push the Batrider again like he's always done.
That was very fast, though. The Force Staff that they got onto the Dragon Knight, very good team play. They were trying to just rip it apart.
Yeah.
A little bit too greedy, though, because this mid lane is exposed now. You have to assume that Kinguin is going to be gathered around that area, centralized there, ready to take that engagement. At the very least, they're going to sit behind heroes. Like, nobody was shoving out waves.
Yeah. They didn't have anybody else from compLexity there. It seems like one of those moves that the risk-reward ratio is pretty awkward.
Yeah, if you kill the DK, you probably assume with the GPM talent he's got buyback anyways, right?
Yeah. So like maybe you're able to force a buyback, but it doesn't end the game. Meanwhile, forcing plays like that could definitely get Kinguin back into the game. As they still have Big Bad Bear, Lone Druid, level 25 talent coming up.
Radiant are
what do you take? You take the Battle Cry or?
Battle Cry grants spell immunity. That's pretty cool.
0 entangle cooldown.
0 entangle cooldown's pretty boss too.
Yeah.
What is it normally?
Oh, like 2 seconds or something. There.
Oh, it's 5 seconds.
Oh god, it's 5 seconds.
Those are both sick. Those are some cool sounds.
He attacks super fast.
Yeah, he does.
The AC and the Mjolnir.
The bear hits hard.
That sounds worth it to me.
It's great lockdown.
Yeah, but if you pop the Battle Cry spell immunity, do you think that means that the bear just ignores untouchable?
That should be what that means, but
it says spell immunity, not magic immunity.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a little bit about it.
I don't think so. It's probably still worth it to grab the entangle, because it's not like he's dying in these engagements.
Yeah.
Like, he's still pretty front-facing.
He just can't get an Abyssal Blade next.
Yeah, he just can't deal enough damage for his team to survive. Like, his team dies by that time. Oh, he does end up grabbing the spell immunity.
Okay.
I guess it's useful so he doesn't get jumped out on top.
See how it plays out.
0 entangle, that's cool.
it's nice when you have a hero that just has like 2 really nice talents. When it's so many difficult.
Yeah, there's still so many of these 25 talents that I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's like minus 13-second flame break cooldown or plus 8-second firefly duration. So your firefly just feels like it's up forever.
Yeah. This Dragonite one were pretty nice for the carry Dragonite, plus 40 strength.
Yeah.
You can see them smoked up right now, trying to catch complexity.
They need a really big pick, but they're not going to be able to find an easy one. Looks like Rue does manage to get the Dragon Tail onto him before he makes some sort of jump away. A little bit slow on the reaction there. Successful Kinguin pick. What can they do with it, though? They've got 70 seconds.
Roshan.
They can push out, see if they can take over the Roche pit.
Yeah. Complexity right now are being a little bit too split on the map.
Yeah.
They're feeling the pace of the game. It's slowed down a little bit. But I think if Kinguin want to come back firmly into this game, Roshan is probably the next target. Like, they're not that far behind at all.
Yeah.
Just one fight, and their pushing power is unbelievable with the AC and the Dragon Knight Dragon form. Like, they'll take these towers really fast. It's just a matter of getting these fights.
14k is not that much this late into the game.
Oh, they did lose the gem, by the way. That was a while back, but that should be pointed out because it is a significant that happened. Like, the gem is really huge in this game because as cores begin to progress, it's really hard for them to just carry around dust. And you notice in this game that it's the supports that go down very easily. And so if they aren't there to dust or follow up, how do they keep up with the Weaver or even the Enchantress with Silver Edge? Like, when the fights become chaotic and they can just poke you and kite you around. And because they have a gem of their own, sentries aren't reliable because the Weaver can just one-shot all the sense anyways.
What do you think of this item choice by Z-Freak going for the Nullifier next?
Probably just to stop the BKBs.
Yeah. I mean, is the range even good enough for an Enchantress to be using?
I'm not sure about that. The damage is really
high.
high.
Smoke onto BKB immediately pop. They're going to be able to lock in the Dragon Knight here. Nation in big trouble. Pop the BKB now have HP, but they've already lost Bat Riders. They don't have the big control, and the Phantom Lancer's right up in their face. Yes, have the BKB, and they get a little bit of damage onto him, but it's really just not enough. They've lost 2 here with the third in the back of Chessie. He's able to kill Alisage, and finally they go for the kill onto Nisha. Now the BKB is faded away. Exotic Deer completely a TP once again, just ahead of an Ice Path, but being the only survivor to a fight is still going to leave you with some battle scars. complexity are going to be able to take another Roshan for themselves. This one with G.
How convenient that as soon as they take that fight, both teams understood that they needed the Roshan. Felt like maybe Kinguin could have gone for that like a second earlier before the Sand King goes and respawns, but instead it's now going to be complexity that forces the issue with so many heroes dead and on the sidelines. They lost the gem again, by the way. Or no, they didn't. The Bat Rider died, but he didn't have it on him. He just had it on the courier, I guess. But it's not like it matters because he doesn't have buyback. So it's going to be Nisha and Exotic Deer that hold the front.
Nisha didn't really react at all to that jump, but at the same time, like, if you don't get the initiation with the Bat Rider, it seems like these fights are impossible for Kinguin.
If the 2 initiators can't get in and they can't immediately blow somebody up, these like long fights don't favor them anymore at all.
Yeah, we're seeing complexity now go for that last set of racks. Bat Rider on the far side here does make the jump, does make the chances. That's going to be big with the Ice Blast over the top. They should be able to blow him up pretty quickly, but a Force Staff, he actually managed to get out. Looks like our Phantom Lancer is just trying to push back the rest of the heroes, going for Exotic Deer, while Chessie sneaks his way in the back line and kills Alisage again. A BKB is going to wear out for Nisha. Now he's going to start getting kited around and burned out of his mana. If he's not careful, they're actually going to deal with the Lone Jurd Bear first, while Chessie again, he's like an assassin in the back line, disrupting all of their limbs. He's willing to give up his ages as long as he kills this damn Dragon Knight. He's going to be able to get to a 3-man burrow strike remove, locking him inside their own cogs. Pedos has to try and fly out of it. Going to get burned down. The Enchantress brings him down again. Kinguin hiding out inside of the fountain, couldn't even finish off and save their throne. It looks like it's just going to be done. That is it. Complexity. They will take game number 1 against Kinguin. It was a long one, 43 minutes in, and it wasn't the smoothest ride for them either. Kinguin made it a little bit bumpy in the start, but Complexity do manage to bring a victory.
Yeah, still pretty one-sided though, and Complexity, very thorough team win. Everyone played their part in that game. Eventually Chessie did catch up. Z-Freak, we talked about him. But Kyle also went off in that game. His positioning, he never died. His ice paths were on point. He scaled very well. I thought that was a very complete win.
Yeah. We didn't really talk about it, but he was always the person who was defending against those Lone Druid pushes. Right? So we didn't even really feel like the Lone Druid's like, oh, there's this big split push that's
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Dusk.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome back to Perfect World Masters 2017. Draft number 2 is underway, as you can see on your screen. We'll get you in there in just a moment. Gents are back at the panel to guide you through that draft with Black and Melini. First pick's already in, and we've got a Gyro.
Oh, they actually thought that Jakiro was that big a problem that they needed to ban it out first phase?
But the thing is, Hero is like Kyle's most comfort hero, I guess, and he plays well on him.
But he usually first faces his hero, so it's not like he's ever going to get banned out.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I don't know whether Jakiro was like a massive issue either.
Team ban.
I guess Kinguin thought it was. Like, it chops in the lanes quite efficiently, so...
Okay, Kinguin favouring that Razor.
Well, it's definitely going to be Kyle on the Tusk this game, not a Zephyr hero. And then Gyrocopter middle again, most likely, by Limp. They don't really play carry, right?
Occasionally, but
rarely.
Not as much as others.
Rarely. And then with Razor and Ogre.
Razor's pretty good versus Gyro, though.
Razor's really good against Gyro.
He's amazingly good.
Yeah. Once you get your BKB, you just go next to him and he can't do anything, basically.
So is there any other hero combinations that they can make this Gyro actually do very well in this game?
Well, it is not impossible to play against Razor, of course. If you got this like Mask of Madness build and you got like a lot of damage, you can kind of like burst all your damage out that you need to at the beginning of the fight, and you're kind of like not that strong anyway without the flag cannon. And usually they lane mid lane anyway, so they usually have like Chaos Knight as carry, who is really strong against fighting against the Razor.
10 seconds.
I swear that trophy was gold yesterday.
What is it now?
Silver.
5 seconds
Did you
remaining.
steal the real one, dude? You're the only one talking about it, you know? Like, that makes you suspicious.
I think it makes him less suspicious talking about it.
That's the theory
Maybe
behind
that's my
it.
plan.
That's the theory behind it. Like, if you talk about it, you're gonna...
The
like,
next level
Radiant
thief.
team
Yeah.
ban.
Mind gaming thief.
What do you think about his headset posture? It looks really nice.
And so he can hear his bro.
I think Caitlin would probably be picking him up on that right now.
I like it.
Head posture or something.
Passion sense. 10.
Hey, when you're playing Enchantress like that, you can wear the
10
headset however the
seconds
bloody hell you want it.
remaining.
Yeah, or you just do the butterfly with your hands, like in that picture he has.
Is that what it is?
5
I think it's
seconds
supposed to be butterfly.
I'm still not.
Schmetterling. What are we looking at the
Dire
bands?
team
So,
ban.
Life Stealer. Alright. Not,
Why Lifestealer?
I don't know.
Lifestealer doesn't seem.
Impactful, yeah. I guess they kind of just wanted to ban something.
Maybe it's good versus moves offlaner though.
Yeah, we don't know what they want to pick yet. Maybe they even want to go bad rather themselves.
10 seconds remaining.
And Life
I like it when they do bans like that though, because it makes the other team think the same thing. They're like,
5
why did they
seconds
ban
remaining.
Lifestealer? We're not picking anything that we wouldn't even play. I think it's just fun because it makes them think.
Yeah, because I actually think
Usually
Tusk is-
Exotic Deer plays. Yeah, Tusk is pretty good.
Tusk is
versus
good
it.
against Life
He's
Stealer.
really good. And Exotic Deer usually plays the Razor.
Yeah, he
anyways.
does. Yeah.
And he would also be their Lifestealer player. It's just strange overall. The the TA ban makes sense. They pick it a lot, and also they don't have the twin head this game.
Yeah,
to
Nisha
deal
really
with
likes
it.
to play it. And Gyro, both Gyro and Tusk are not amazing at dealing with him. They
They're
can deal with
passable.
him, yeah. But it's not like super good. Once he gets
Radiant
BKB
team
Blink and
Dire
Death, so the
team
Gyro is
pick.
gonna have a hard game.
Witch Doctor.
Doctor. Might it be Sea Freak? Is he just gonna farm on one of those two heroes then? I'm sure you can play Tusk too, because if you want to farm on one of the two supports, it should be the Tusk.
He's not usually the Witch Doctor.
Walrus
10
kick is
seconds remaining.
Or you get level
Everything.
25 and you get like the 12% Walrus Punch.
5 seconds
Have you
remaining.
seen that?
I have gotten it before, but didn't seem that great.
I mean, it's 12% less than coup de grace. Or however you
Radiant team pick.
pronounce that. French.
Coup de grace. That's fine. It's good.
Thank you.
De bar.
So they go for the Doom. I personally feel like Witch Doctor is quite good against Doom, and so is Tusk. But they
10
pick Doom like
seconds
pretty much
remaining.
whenever they can for the offlane. They just think it's a very strong hero, which it is. Shuts down a
5
core.
seconds
Tanky
remaining.
cores are kind of bad against it, because they lose like 20% of the health every hit. Well, every Infernal Blade, I guess. Strong lane,
Dire team pick.
Ogre Doom.
Enchantress.
But they go back for the Enchantress again.
I'm surprised that wasn't banned.
Then
in
it's an
second
offlane
phase.
Tusk.
Surprising.
I'm
Oh wait, he meteor hammered.
Yeah, he did. That
was
was
a
the
Meteor Hammer
Meteor Hammer
Tusk.
game. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Did
I
they
wanna see
win
some
that
more
game?
meteor hammer.
10
No,
No, they
seconds
didn't. They lost the
remaining.
game, and it wasn't effective.
Yeah, not surprised. And the only
5
time you
seconds
build Meteor
remaining.
Hammer is when the game is lost. And you just wanna like,
Or when you won so hard that you can build meteor hammer.
yeah, but I haven't seen that one yet. Usually I only see the oh god we lost. I'm gonna try this new item build.
I bet it might be like Lil's new thing whenever he's in the fountain. Dude,
Well-
Lil is infamous for having the weirdest, like he 6 mangoes, just sells all his items despite
Yeah.
as soon as GG called, he like
Yeah.
books it for the fountain.
Yeah, fake GGs would crush
R-
them.
I don't even think you can fake GG, right? Can you?
You can.
No, as in like tournament.
And
or
Tournament-
just-
tournament rules ban it. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't
but
fake
they
GG.
go for the Brute Murder. Brute Murder is excellent against 3 of the heroes.
We did wonder whether they might
Yeah.
bring out.
I have 1 pick
The
left
Brood.
for Brood.
Only Gyro can really deal with Brood here.
Yep.
So is it gonna be an offlane Brood? Where do you usually play it actually? Is it mid?
Mid.
10
Because I actually kind of feel like
remaining.
Gyro mid can deal with Brood okay-ish.
5 seconds remaining.
Not early game.
It's alright.
I haven't really seen the matchup yet, honestly. Like, when do you ever see Gyro against Brood mid?
It
Never.
used to be a common matchup in the safe lane.
Yeah, in the safe lane, yeah. But now it's like completely changing.
Yeah,
with
now it's way
spiders
different.
and they have 6 armor too, right? So the flag cannon actually doesn't even kill them. You need like 5 hits or so without phase boot.
Maybe you just need a really big gyro this game.
Yeah, you do definitely need a big Gyro this game. What are they gonna ban? What does Kinguin need?
Could you do Magnus versus Brood? Does that one-on-one work?
Dire team
Yeah, it
ban.
does. And I mean, Gyro, Mag is not the worst.
It sounds doable.
Yeah, I mean, back then, Gyro, Magnus, Luna Magnus, these kind of things were very popular. The pinnacle of awesomeness.
Hold on a minute, I need to visit the toilet.
Dude, going high ground against that is
remaining.
fun. Very fun.
5 seconds remaining.
But we won't see it this game, so don't worry about it. So, are they gonna... Did they play support Doom before Team Kinguin? They did, right? Because otherwise they would pick
not
a
sure.
support last, which is
It's unusual for them.
rare. Yeah,
But I think they would
for
just
them and other teams as well.
covering... Well, no, complexity do it.
Well, completely just pick whatever they want.
Complexity doesn't care about the draft.
They do not. Oh.
Doesn't just pick complexity.
X. What's like a good core for call that can deal with the Brood as well? Tiny's
Dire
out.
team
Meepo.
pick.
Meepo would actually crush
Would
them.
be really good,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Against the entire draft.
It would just ruin them.
Yeah, the entire draft would actually get crushed by Meepo. But I don't think they have a Meepo player.
Do they?
Radiant team pick.
If they could pick Meepo, this is the game for it, for sure.
So they go for the Earth Split last. Position 4. Yeah, but I think they need at least +1 here that can deal with the Brood efficiently.
Meepo, please.
Cheese versus
pick
cheese.
Meepo would
Cheese
be
on cheese
awesome.
10
action.
seconds
Actually, Task
remaining.
level 15 can deal with Brood as well because it gets the snowball damage, but level 15 is pretty far into the
5
game.
seconds
That's not what you
remaining.
want to rely on. I was like, no, this hero can't
Cheese on
deal with
cheese. On
Brood.
cheese.
They have at least a lot of reserve time. 115 is way more than we
Yeah.
usually see. It's usually like 40 at the...
What about like Storm? Is quite good against Brood.
Yeah, Storm I like versus her lineup in general, but I think Earth Spirit, Brood would kind of...
Yeah, once
That
they
early
roll
game.
on you, then you're kind of dead. And there's an Ogre as well. To be fair though, you have an Enchantress who is pretty good at dealing with that too. Do they play? They usually don't play Storm. It's like too standard for them.
Way too meta.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Practice your Meepo, boys.
What about like a...
I think Mag could also... It wouldn't be great, but it'd be
Yeah.
tall.
I mean, they have
I
some
could be okay
choices,
with it.
but a lot of those choices are not complexity choices to me. They always have these like special things.
Yep.
Like
I'm with you.
it's like a Patchmid or something. It would be awful.
Axe sounds like a complexity hero, but
Axe
it doesn't
does
fit
sound-
that well in the...
And it's also not that good against Razor.
Legion Commander.
Choose your
Oh,
hero.
no, Legion mid then.
Wow.
It's a Legion mid. I actually think the new Brood is not as bad against the Legion as the old one. Because you can't one-hit the spiders anymore. They have too much magic resistance.
Yeah, I think it's still decent, though.
Yeah, of course, it's still decent. Like,
It's one of the best heroes at keeping Brood in place. I think that's actually the biggest problem versus... Like,
yeah.
she just
Control.
walks over cliffs.
You won't get dominant. And also, you can kind of like through the fog when you kind of know where Brood is, like farming the engine, you can just kind of nuke the spiders there as well.
Don't see an awful lot of LC though.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean,
It used to be one of the better picks versus... But the Broodlings have changed a lot. So
Yeah.
I mentioned it yesterday, but you seem a little bit skeptical because of the magic resistance. So we're still not entirely sure how it works out.
yeah, I mean, it's like 50%. It's so much. And then they only have like 200 health, so...
But overwhelming odds, I think, got scaled more, so that it does more, like less initial damage and more damage per unit now.
No, per hero, right? But less per...
Less per unit.
Yeah.
I thought it was like less base and more per unit. And
Oh, really? I'm not entirely sure
No.
how they changed the spell so much, dude.
yeah.
It's crazy. Like every
Off
other
to you,
patch.
Paul.
Yeah.
No.
Do the analysis.
So Paul, Legion versus Brood, who do you think wins?
Brood.
I mean,
Never
that's a-
back
that's a
against
safe
the
bet.
Brood.
I mean,
Never back against the Brood. That's what I was taught.
You know, we can't really argue against that because we gave the analysis to him.
Yeah.
You're right, Paul.
No, you
I think
taught me
Brood
well.
wins. Yeah.
I bow to my masters. Taught me well.
I
And the
think
Padawan goes with the Brood.
Are we going with Brood this game?
it's rough, man. The lineup looks a bit awkward. Like
And he
both
got
lineups look
Radiance
weird.
Brood last time.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
Hmm.
Like,
So you're supposed to be teaching me this stuff.
okay,
Ah.
do we believe
Radiance
in Z-Freak or
Brood
not?
is...
Z-Freak, yes or no?
Yeah.
Complexity.
We're always with Z-Freak.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Except
So-
last game.
Okay.
This game we are.
Call.
Call.
Thumbs up.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Freak.
I'm so confused right now. Taught me, Ben. Pick Brood, we game.
It's not as easy. That wasn't me.
Was it not you? Maybe it was Will.
It wasn't me. That was.
Maybe it was Will.
I'm pretty sure it was Will. Ben wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, Ben wouldn't say that.
No, I've heard some similar things from like that.
But not about Brood.
Maybe not Brood. But you're going against it. Why?
Well, firstly, he bought Radiance. They have a tendency to like to buy Radiance on that hero or on their heavy farmers, which works some games, but not all the games.
They're Radiance fans.
Yeah, they overbuy it, I would say. And then, secondly, we're unsure about this LC versus Brood matchup, but they're seemingly convinced that it works. Yeah. And I think they have 2 cores which are going to actually deal with the Brood, which seems pretty good. And they actually finally have a hero that can catch. And complexity, they have Z-Freak. So, all those reasons.
I like comprehensive reasons from our analysts. Who'd have thought it? Let's head to our commentary team who are waiting patiently to bring you game number 2.
Thank God there was a pause towards the end of that draft. That way our panel could pick up the shambles that was their analysis and finally come up with some good reasoning. Ben Merlini Wu gave us a summary of why he's going for complexity. Blitz, you gonna give me a summary of why you're going for Kinguin?
So in the last game, I felt like the core matchups were quite nice, and on top of that, like I didn't think the Clockwork was going to do anything as the game progressed. But I think in a game like this, like Kinguin, I feel like you can just run at complexity, and I wasn't a big fan of how they ran Gyrocopter in the previous game. This time it is Limp playing it instead.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Feel like Chessie just wasn't a Gyrocopter player?
It was an awkward game because they couldn't create space for him either, and he just got 3-manned.
30 seconds.
I sort of feel like Razor might be just the answer to everything right now, though.
Yeah, Razor seems like an incredibly strong hero.
I played him for the first time yesterday, and I was just blown away by this hero.
Yeah. And in some ways, like, I'm also going to be going with Kinguin here, but that's because I'm just not really sure about the Tusk.
Yeah.
Core Tusk, for me, is it's not that clear, hard initiation that you're going to see out of other offlaners, and that's something we definitely want for our Gyrocopter. As Kinguin have a lineup that can run over people between the Razor and the Doom, and then there's the ever-present Broodmother problem.
Yo, there's just like a bounty rune right there. Exotic Deer's going to see it. He's pinging it. He's like, all right. I guess they didn't take it.
We invaded. They were also supposed to invade, but apparently
Dude, Nisha got
didn't.
double bounty rune to start the game. Ooh. That's so fun as a mid laner. Nobody ever lets me do that, though.
I let you do that all the time.
False.
I literally give you the offlane bounty rune all the time.
This isn't about you. As in mid lane, Nisha immediately starts the static link.
All right, so we're going to have the battle of static link versus homing missile. But it's not a 1v1. Elisash is also going to be hanging out here in the mid lane doing his classic ignite spam. But Z-Freak is also probably going to be ganking mid. He was actually smoked up. I think he was looking for a courier kill, but is actually trying to make his way through the jungle and set up, and it looks like the offlane Dire side gets himself a good, nice aggressive ward to be able to see some rotations as well.
Yeah, he's going to have a similar game as the last game if Z-Freak's going to manage to pick up this game, because he's going to have to do a lot of work part 2.
Yeah.
A continuance. This game, I think, is a little bit more complicated, though. Like, the enemy heroes are a bit faster. Earth Spirit has a lot of magic burst, which is quite effective against Enchantress. The Bloodlust is going to negate a lot of the advantage that Untouchable gives you. Plus, the Purge is really annoying for her to deal with, although Elisash is getting...
Yeah, he's getting sandwiched right now. Now, Limp is going to go for the body block. Misses it, though. If he had gotten that, they would have gotten the Centaur stun, and maybe... Well, they don't even have Rocket Barrage. Most Gyrocopters aren't getting it, so I'm not sure what they would have done if they'd stunned the Ogre. They certainly wouldn't have killed him.
I haven't played the Gyro, but I hear his new Rocket Barrage is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Is it really that bad?
I think so.
Huh.
I've played against it when somebody got Rocket Barrage, and I was just like, whoop, he doesn't go homing missile.
It's no longer the edict.
Because homing missile's insane.
I see. Remember, it was essentially just edict.
Yeah.
That doesn't hit towers, but same diff.
Just the hero edict just blows up. Yeah. But now homing missile's like, it's guaranteed damage, you know? Like, I can run at the homing missile all I want. Doesn't change anything. So. Another run in, another static link, another 38 damage stolen. Nisha should have a pretty good CS lead over our Gyrocopter as the lane progresses.
But Z-Freak is going to try and make things a bit easier for his buddy. It does leave the Broodmother in the 1v1 against the Legion Commander, which seems like Chessy is very much enjoying. And bottom lane, looks like we did manage to get a first blood early. Moo is going to roll onto Patos here, but he's getting a lot of regen out of that Scorched Earth, and you realize they can't actually go for this kill.
Surprised they were able to get that with their combination of heroes. But that is 2 levels of Maledict.
And now an Enchanter is going to go down. Now Nisha's going to drop dangerously low. The homing missile is going to bring him a little bit lower, but he does manage to pop both the wand and the Fairy Fire, so it's not even close. And Limp is going to have to limp his way all the way back to the base.
Yeah, he's going to go heal, and Nisha so far has had a very successful mid lane. Already 500 gold up on this gyrocopter. This is the second time I've seen it from compLexity in this tournament alone. The second time I've seen it kind of get crushed, honestly. It's not 100% fair to say that it's on either the brothers, because in both situations they were run at. In this game, it was by the Ogre. In the previous one, they had like that Lesh thing happen with Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
But in both situations, like, it just feels a little bit harder to protect this hero than most. And the kill potential for it kind of seems mediocre. Like, you gank for him, but he's got to have the homing missile pre-charged. Because the rocket barrage isn't what it used to be anymore.
I thought he would have gotten maybe early unstable current against the homing missile. You know, like every single top he pops missile on you, that gives you a free run at you static link time.
That's true.
But instead he goes for the nuke. Maybe better kill opportunity, better farming. Moo is going to be chased down here, but they don't have any more. They just have the Scorched Earth. He's really going for this one, but the snowball underneath the tower, plus the paralyzing pass. Now the Maledict, and Moo's still going to get a little bit distance. He finally gets a good Infernal Blade hit. Moo turns and fights him. He commits his life to be able to bring down the Doom. Kyle will be the recipient of a very fortuitous laning phase, it seems, only for him. He's already level 4.5, moving towards 5.
He's almost level 5.
Yeah.
At 4 minutes as, I say in air quotes, support Witch Doctor.
Yeah, Moo's having a rough-ass time, and Kyle's the beneficiary of such hardship.
Kyle's got the second highest net worth on his team.
Oh, no. I'm okay with Z-Freak carrying the game. I'm not sure if I'm okay with Kyle.
Not the Friedman brother that I expected to have all the farm.
Yep. Top lane is going really well for Chessy. He's 32-17 and does get a duel onto Exotic Deer. He's destroying the lane, even if he's not going to be able to get 6 duel. Bottom lane, they are going to go for Patos here. The Maledict is going to do a lot of damage. Snowball nails him, almost enough to bring him down. Still not enough from the Witch Doctor. Scorched Earth is barely enough regen to keep him alive. Lisa's just running at Moo because these two heroes, they've been trying to ignore him. Now the Maledict's on him.
Here's the kick. Doesn't land though.
Completely missed.
They're still doing a lot in this lane.
Yeah.
The kill potential of this lane is something that I think I underestimated.
I've been trying to focus on top lane because I'm just trying to figure out how Exotic Deer is level 4, not even level 5 quite yet. And the Legion Commander got level 6, and it was like 30 seconds ago he got a level 6.
Yeah, the Legion's just out-spamming him with the Soul Ring, and he can't really stand in the lane. The Broodlings don't do anything to this hero. It just helps proc Moment of Courage.
And he's got all of the denies.
Yes.
23 denies in this 1v1.
Anytime Exotic Deer runs up, he just gets nuked out when he tries to fight for CS.
Yeah. So
24 denies is, like you said, that's such an absurd amount.
Yeah. Oh, well, Lisash's going to be caught here. And he can't go down that ramp either. He knows what's waiting for him. They do finally throw a Q from you. And they're going to catch out Lisash pretty easily. He just apparently just AFKs.
Thought that was going to be another kill for Kyle, but he's almost grabbed his level 6.
So with the Broodmother pushed entirely out of lane, Z-Freak, it seems, going to take this opportunity to bring his Enchantress creeps up here with the first Siege Wagon push and take down the Tier 1. And I don't think Kinguin's going to do anything about it.
And compLexity right now.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. They are going to TP the Ogre. Okay, he cancels that TP real quickly.
Yeah, they're going to give this tower up. I don't know if they can do anything about it. Deer's waiting in the corner. He's trying to snipe out the range creeps.
Yeah, he's like, I think he's trying to bait out his Spiderlings on the left-hand side so he can finally push forward once the nuke is used.
Yeah,
and there
we go.
Finally, the nuke is used. He comes forward, tries to deal with the Enchantress creep, but he's going to be dueled up now. Here comes your Spear trying to help get the kill onto Chessy before Exotic Deer is in danger. Chessy now trying to make it back as Pacho's also TPing in, is able to get the long range and snare. Z-Freak forced to watch. Chessy turns, fights, gets a big nuke off, but it's not enough to kill anybody. Kinguin finally do bring the Legion Commander down, but it cost them 3 different TPs, one of which was canceled by the Ogre, but a rotation from even the Doom up to this top lane just to slow down Chessy's momentum.
I think that's going to be fine for them. They don't split that much gold. It was 300 in the form. of that Legion death, but if you give up this entire bottom area, I think they're going to be okay with it. The good news for Kinguin, though, it's only move farming.
Yeah.
You're trading all those TPs for a Legion, and in exchange, you're letting Tusk free farm. And if he gets a Meteor Hammer again, I think they were like, this is what we want to do.
Tusk as a core, kind of questionable. Even more so with the Meteor Hammer.
I'm okay with it. I just wasn't okay with the
Meteor Hammer.
The hammer, yeah. I'm sure there's like some cool interaction that I haven't thought of. Like maybe you frozen Sigil and slow them down sufficiently that it's like some cool thing.
Homing missile. Is that just a farming ult?
Yeah.
Just burst down the creep wave so we can get some damage on tower.
There's a regen at bottom.
Go for the regen. He's going to be chased. Looks like the Razor's going to be able to catch up to Kyle here. Lin grabs the regen, finally hoping to be able to get out of range of the Ignite, as Kyle should be dying here. He actually gets up to the high ground, throws out the ultimate, but the kick comes through just in time. Nisha has a large amount of damage with him with the Maledict, but it's just not enough.
Imagine if the Earth Spirit wasn't there.
Yeah, and he just kills him.
Yeah. There's a decent chance that the Razor just dies there.
He actually punches Exotic Deer, trying to stay ahead of these Spiderlings that are trying to trap him in.
Spiderlings and the Spiderites.
Oh, mid lane, Nisha is actually getting on top of Chessie here, taking so much damage away from him. Chessie may just end up dying again, barely able to make it back to the high ground as a homing missile helps slow down Nisha, who had stolen 141 damage.
Yeah, but without the Razor hitting him, it doesn't matter. Very smart choice in who he targets with that.
So it seems like part of this mid-Razor was a maxed out nuke. I keep on seeing him do this. He goes and farms that medium camp over and over again for just the extra CS.
Still a little curious that I thought that getting at least one level of the current might be value.
Yeah, against a single target.
It helps you farm too.
Homing missile.
But it bothers me that it doesn't do that purge thing anymore. You know, when you cast spells on him?
Yeah.
But I guess it's the trade-off, because you get like a random jolt. You just like taser somebody every 5 seconds.
Yeah, before people could just ignore you. Now, at least you get a little bit of a benefit if they do ignore you.
Yeah.
Zap, zap, zap.
They switched it from a defensive to an offensive tool.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because Razor's offense was pretty mediocre before then.
Yeah.
It felt like your entire purpose was Link, and people had to not run away from you.
Moo runs straight into Patos and Catcher, who were trying to go for a kill, I think, onto the Enchantress, but instead find something that could have actually been better. Level 6 Tusk.
Very nice kill for them. They needed something like that.
Maybe it's going to be Moo here who's going to be taking a forward position this time. Len's going to be found trying to take up neutrals, and Nisha's just going to run him down with a static blink. Kyle comes in, does throw out the paralyzing cast. It's going to be a little bit too late, so they can wait for the homing missile. Now throws the Maledict, plus the Death Ward, plus the Centaur stun. And that actually turns into a bit of a trap. Okay. Gyrocopter, they managed to turn what would have been a very unfortunate death to him for a fortuitous situation for our supports.
That's still a level 9 Razor, though.
Yeah.
Like, the supports are getting an ungodly amount of farm. Like, in the last game, we saw, this time it's Kyle, who's level 8, even though his Gyro is level 7. As he's going to go
for the kill onto him with Elisa coming in from behind. The Maledict is there, though, and he's waiting for these heroes to get a little bit closer for the paralyzing cast to be max on the effectiveness, and it's beautiful, too. It managed to bounce back to the Earth Spirit. Now the homing missile, it didn't go to Elisa, but maybe Lim can still catch him. Goes down the Gyrocopter ultimate. They block him in as well. Moo set up a really good ice shard that blocks him out, does manage to lift them, close the gap, get that dual damage going. So straight to a tier 1 tower push as well. compLexity, they're known to do this, but they're going to 5-man nice and early here to win a fight.
Yeah, and Kinguin try to just kill a lone Witch Doctor, but this is a Witch Doctor with 4 levels of Maledict, 2 levels of cast. He's a level 8 Witch Doctor. That was not a free kill. They were probably surprised. They're like, why is this guy not dying?
Why doesn't he just get bursted down like every other support should?
Yeah, that's normally, you see a Witch Doctor, that's a free kill on the map. But they used everything on him. They even used their Earth Spirit ult the first one of the game. He doesn't go down.
Now, the net worth is still looking okay for Kinguin. They may be down overall, but their 3 cores are taking 3, well, actually, Gyrocopter's kind of contesting the Doom, but they're up there, right? They're actually above some of the compLexity cores right now, especially Moo. They're going to go for Kyle here. They do manage to get the silence in him. Kyle actually turns, hoping to be able to get a paralyzing cast situation set up. but instead gets nothing off at all.
And this is what scared me about Kinguin's lineup. When they just group up like this with the Doom and the Razor in the front line, how do you stop this?
Yeah.
What is your response?
Well, what is their response? What did compLexity do here against this Kinguin now that they're actually the ones 5-manning and running at compLexity?
I don't know, man.
They saw a move. They're going to be able to get the silence on. Really great setup there for Katsuo, and it looks like Kinguin are going to be able to find his kill. Snowball just delays what is probably the inevitable here. Gives a lot of damage to Nisha. Oh, Chessie, you don't want to be there. Not against a Razor that has stolen that much damage. Fortunately, the Earth Spirit does actually miss the kick. We'll be okay.
Yeah, if he gets that kick, I think they just try to chase him down right there. Yeah. Everyone from Kinguin, though, is starting to get really farmed. The advantage that Chessie had is largely been wiped out.
This is the duel onto him. Broodmother could not get out in time, and now with Limp here, maybe the duel damage isn't going to be enough, but Exotic Deer should not escape. Oh, he's actually going to go try and get some lifesteal before the homing missile comes in. He gets into the trees, but Chessie lands right on top of him and is able to finish off that bug.
Yeah, cool move. Try to get the survive out. He understood that if he doesn't do that, he's going to die anyways.
Yeah.
So he might as well try to lifesteal enough and maybe outrun it, get onto a cliff where the rest of the compLexity can't chase him. But the Maledict tick was going to come anyways.
Yep. That homing missile is going to be a great counter to the Broodmother until we have some sort of BKB pick. Now,
last time we saw the Radiance, and the panel was complaining about that. Do you think...
is a great conductor.
What do you think the build is for the Broodmother? I'll leave it open-ended then.
I still think the Solar Deso has a lot of play.
Okay.
Mainly because, or at least in part 2, to the fact that you can Roshan early on.
Solar Deso, BKB, and it's just like get into those fights, like latch onto the gyrocopter. I mean, what's he going to do against that?
Yeah.
I like that idea as well.
I think the Radiance...
Oh, that's going to be something that immediately cancels compLexity. We're coming in, but gank. They are going to be able to find out Lisa after the charge. Not able to block a shot, but a paralyzing gas. It actually bouncing back into him. They brought the snowball in with Chessie inside of it. And they're going to be able to get on top of Nisha. They don't have a stun cancel, but they do have the damage to be able to kill him first. A double kill for Chessie. And Patos, well, he's got a missile running after him, but compLexity are not in pursuit.
Yeah. Dinks him in the head. Bothers him a little bit, but just runs away.
7,400 net worth, and it just keeps on climbing as Chessie is feeding on spider babies.
It was okay. Like, the lead that he had was barely anything at one point. It was that bottom engagement where he duels the Broodmother. He was only behind by like 600 gold, the Brood.
Yeah.
And now he's down 2,000. Like, what happened?
We had this smoke up, but oh, again. They just keep on trying to smoke into this area and keep running into compLexity. Limp is going to give himself cover with the ultimate, but Kinguin have given up hope chasing down that hero. Gyrocopter is way too fast. Phase boots and even a windlass.
Yeah. He's got a Helm of Dom, curiously enough. It's good HP regen around you, but probably needs a little bit more to keep up.
Do you think... like, I've seen Helmet Dominator frequently be picked up to help shove out lanes. Do you think that's a problem that compLexity had that he's trying to fix?
Most likely. So you don't always have to just deal with the Brood by sending any heroes in.
Yeah.
You can just pick up a purple dude and he'll shove in the lane for you.
Shockwave, Shockwave.
And Z-Freak, much like last game, continues to get farm, has that Hand of Midas ready, this time opting to go a little bit greedier, anticipating that this might go a little bit longer, and he might have to scale once again.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to be an annoying core. You don't want to get into a situation where one hero gets doomed and that's the end of your fight because you've invested so much into just one hero. If you get this Enchantress farmed as well, it makes it so that you throw a lot of different looks at Kinguin, which is what I think threw Kinguin off heavily last game. They weren't really sure who to target. They figured out, like, eventually that they had to go all in for that Enchantress.
Yeah.
And once they started picking her up, they found some success, but that time it felt a little bit too late.
You could see, I mean, Kinguin's cores here are not going to scale like this Enchantress. So even though Gyrocopter and, you know, maybe this core Tusk and Legion Commander, they're not going to scale like into hardest carries in the world, but they do have a fourth core going into late game.
That impetus is just going to be so annoying for them, like it was in the first game.
I think it's kind of really good versus the Razor, just like it is to the Dragon Knight, you know?
Not a broken spell by any means, but very good.
3,000 gold lead. 98 right now. 17 minutes in. compLexity are holding a decent lead right now.
Yeah, it was 4,000 gold a second ago. Now it dips down a little bit more, but goes right back up as we left it, and they're just completely farming in the opposite sides of the map. Like, they feel very comfortable right now. They know
compLexity are.
Yeah, they know that Kinguin don't have a ton of map control, and Kinguin are afraid of the Legion jump, so they're staying together. Whereas you notice on the side of Cole, everyone's farming. This Enchantress has been hitting neutrals, shoving out top. Chessie's been shoving out neutrals and also killing Ancients.
Okay, they're going to kill the Spider and still go for Roshan here. And the Razor is still going at that bottom lane. Another Spider ducks its head into the pit, is immediately killed, but it gives the information to Kinguin that indeed compLexity are still trying to do this.
Yeah, they're forcing this fight pretty hard right now.
More Spiders wandering in. compLexity.
They're going to see that this is actually pretty high in health.
Okay.
They're not smoked up though. They're just going to run in. Doom's got a blink dagger.
No, Elizosh, what is this position that he's got? He's going to get dueled up immediately. The game's going to take down. And he survives through the duel. That first shot is going to be enough. The Doom immediately thrown out. Static Link on the lift. They're chasing him out of the fight entirely. Enchantress turning though against the Doom, who's stuck in the Ice Shard. Really great placement there from Moo. They managed to take down 4 of Kinguin, and Nisha, who chased down the Gyrocopter and did manage to get that kill, is now facing up in a 1v4. He's going to go for the TP out. They don't have a stun from Legion Commander, and it looks like they don't have a stun anywhere else. So the rest of compLexity turned back towards that Roshan, but pretty sure, I don't think they can really do this. It's not like Kinguin is dead for that long.
Yeah, they're going to respawn shortly. The Razor moves really fast. He's already back, actually.
They are trying to force this so hard.
Yeah, they're committing pretty hard for it, but they know that there's no Doom available.
Yeah.
And more importantly, there's no Earth Spirit ulti. So the advantage that they would have from the clumped up targets doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The Earth Spirit might still go for this play because he feels like he needs to, but the map can be reset a little bit. And I don't know if we're going to get a replay of that fight. But
Save the ward.
What ended up happening there is, as the Doom blinks in, Moo, who is snowballing a different target, catches him in the stun.
Yeah.
And then he punches him, ice shards him, and just keeps him locked up the entire duration. So by the time he doomed, it was on an uphill Enchantress that was already running away. Like, maybe if he gets that Doom off sooner,
I mean, it all starts with Elizosh being in the awkward positioning. But
so they go in,
snowball in onto 3, and then the Ice Shards follow up.
Yep.
That was really beautiful.
That was really sick team play. And then Peytos feels like he's like, I have to get something off here.
Yeah.
Doom whatever target I see, but it's not an ideal target at all. And that's a really long cooldown ability. It's still 50 seconds on the deck.
But compLexity have not been able to take Roshan just yet, so it is still an objective out there for either team to claim. But it looks like compLexity are going to try and force things right now. They're going to smoke up while the Doom's still on cooldown. See if maybe they can find a pick that opens up the Roshan pit again. Chessie's moving forward. He actually does have a Shadow Blade. His smoke is going to pop. Oh no, Kenzor, he tried to get out with a moment, but Blink was just ahead of him. He ends up bumping into Chessie, and as a result, giving up a kill. And another duel, 34 damage right now for Chessie. They immediately start going for the Roshan pit. Let's see if Kinguin, in a 4 versus 5, can poke at compLexity enough to force them outside of the pit. Or if this is just going to be a free Aegis for Cole.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a free Aegis. They've got a medallion now, which is going to help speed things along. I don't think they had that beforehand.
They're going to try. It's dropping dangerously low. They're even going to smoke up for this one. Nisha is going to be able to get really good positioning. They managed to get a jump in from Pato. A really good jump as well. compLexity, they dropped a little bit low. Look at that death from Solid. They're going to need damage. Nisha is going to be swallowed up by Z-Freak, though. They turn and manage to kill that big core. Gyrocopter's down as well, though. This is Kinguin. They've actually got a 4 versus 3. They're going to go for more. They're going to be able to find Move. The Exotic Seer jumps onto him. They're not able to get the cleanse off in time to be able to get the movement speed out of there. So Tusk is just locked up by a Broodmother, and Kinguin do win the fight, head back to the Roshan pit, and are just going to be farming away now.
Yeah, very sick fight for Kinguin.
I can't believe he got, like, they won the fight and they got the Aegis.
He just fought Roshan that entire time. He's like, guys, I hope you're doing well.
Yeah. I mean, Doom just came up.
The timing on that was incredible. compLexity thought that there's no way Kinguin's going to take another fight around that area. Good news for them is that they didn't lose Chessie, their most farmed hero. Bad news is they give up the Aegis onto the Brood. And a perfect team fight for Kinguin to get back into this game.
What is that? Magnums? Is Magnums the build?
It allows him to kill one target. I mean, he's getting a lot of dual damage. His team has like a ton of AoE though.
Oh, what a nuke! And immediately into the duel onto the Earth Spirit, followed up by the paralyzing cast. Kinguin on full retreat. They leave the Earth Spirit to die.
And our snowball, not sure where that one was headed.
Yeah, doesn't get the dual damage though, more importantly. Like, it feels like Chessie's winning a lot of these duels.
But he's not.
Yeah, he's getting the initiation, but they're just dying right after.
Middle tower is under attack.
They didn't kill him in 4.75 seconds? It felt like they did. Wow. Maybe that's just barely surviving long enough
what
every
you forget,
time.
too, is that he is a strength hero. And so it's like 0.5 seconds less on the dual duration.
Look at that.
Chessie needs to start winning some of these duels.
He had like 1 HP.
Yeah.
And the duel fades. Dude, Chessie's just not getting the love right now.
Kyle should have just popped his ulti.
Yeah. Just guarantee it.
You need to let this hero infinitely scale. That's what they're missing right now, is the infinite scaling Legion.
Well, Helmet Dominator has allowed the Gyrocopter to stack up for himself. Limp also has the extra 3 flat cannon shots, so he is beginning to catch up, but there is still a ways to go. Only sitting at 8,600 net worth behind the Doom, Broodmother, and the Razor. And I can't say, I don't think a Legion Commander is where you want all your farm to be.
You're wrong, Cap, because if you think about it, technically, I say technically, this hero, no matter what, will win the ultra late game.
That is true.
When the game goes...
well, technically, he could just be feeding dual damage to the enemy.
That's true, too.
But they could infinitely scale the wrong way here.
Damn, you really worked me there.
Gotcha. You can't pull one over on me.
Imagine the game goes like 540 minutes. The longest game professional Dota's ever seen. Legion Commander has 4,000 dual damage racked up. What will you do now?
Have a blade mail?
True.
Got him again.
Lincoln's Aeon Disc. But what if he just like, he doesn't even duel you, he just like right clicks you once. You die. You're good. You're gonna walk around with just like blade mail randomly popped?
Yeah, refresh your blade mail.
You're just gonna refresh it. Then it's a real the floor is lava situation for Chessie.
Okay, we've changed it into ANC. No more items after.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not a fan of that item. It's very situational, but I think there are more reliable items that he could grab.
BKB is now finished for Exotic Deer. So with this Aegis, let's see some fighting, shall we? I mean, as Kinguin, you want to take these outer towers. You got the Aegis, you got double BKBs. I don't think there's anything stopping them from just running at towers, right?
Yeah, they're pretty powerful right now. That's why Chessie's like split up trying to find out whatever he can.
Yeah.
They should know that the air spirit's in that jungle area, but Nisha's also going to come into protect.
Exotic Deer spamming sorry to his spider babies. And he is, Fratricide? Fratricide? Is that family?
I don't know. That sounds wrong.
I think so. She's leaving her babies to die, pretty much.
Real unfortunate.
Yeah.
Aegis just faded too.
Oh man. If they got that BKB maybe a minute earlier, they could have at least taken one objective with the Aegis.
Yeah. I mean, no, the game just kind of resets. It got all the way down to like 2K, but complexity during the Aegis timer, they're just like, okay, I guess we're all farming. Everyone on the map's farming, we're farming too.
But it's not bad for Kinguin to farm, right?
No, not at all. Their cores are still very strong. They've got a BKB Doom, they got a BKB Razor, they've got a BKB Brood. Their first fight is going to be incredibly powerful.
I mean, surely if you take the Enchantress out of it and just look at the 3v3 of the cores, Kinguin's cores definitely scale better.
Yeah, because Limp doesn't deal enough non-magic damage right now. He's heavily reliant on the rocket plus the ulti.
Yeah. Like,
this flat cannon S&Y gyro doesn't scare you that much.
No.
Not quite yet, anyways.
Feels like maybe the Mask of Manus should have been the... I mean, that's been the norm, right? Mask of Manus helped the Gyrocopter really speed up his farm.
Mask of Madness seems to help out everyone nowadays.
Complexity, they seem pretty set on contesting any tower push that's coming out from Kinguin.
They should. They've got Legion Nuke.
Yeah. They almost have Assault Cuirass. And Z-Freak just picked up his plus 50 damage off the Enchantress and is about to get his Hurricane Pike as well.
Yeah, Kyle's running away. You're going to walk into the high ground, though. Limp.
Elvis on the front lines here does manage to spot out Limp, but a Force Staff helps get him down to the tier 1 tower.
They know they're on that cliff now.
Yeah, so that smoke not going to do much for them. The curious cliff. Oh, I guess they want to save their tier 1 tower from Exotic Deer, but he's still going for it. And compLexity are not in a position to be able to defend.
Yeah, Limp's just continuing to chip away at that bottom tower.
Yeah.
Gradually getting more farm right now.
There's another armor item. Doom is closing in on the Shivas. He's actually going to try and chase down Z-Freak here. He's super fast, too. Z-Freak does have the Hurricane Pike, though. So maybe he could turn around, give himself a little bit of distance, and that's just enough of bump for him to get out of here. Oh, look at those long shots.
At the same time,
goes down to half HP.
The rest of his team is going to farm out the rest of the map during this space creation. Chessie pushes up top. Moo's going to go for the Aghanim Scepter instead.
Lincoln's being built by the Razor. Is that the game plan for compLexity in these team fights? Is that the person he wants to lock down? Isn't it more like Doom or Broodmother? You can get the jump on them. Isn't that worth a little bit more? I guess if you Doom them, though, you're going to get static linked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Razor is the target.
Razor's really annoying for them to deal with right now. He's grabbing the Lincolns of his own. All the cores need Lincolns or more armor to deal with the Legion. Yeah. He's like the true carry right now in this game.
Got him with the ensnare. Oh, they're actually going to make this initiation, but Chessie couldn't quite get the jewel.
They got
was able to get down the cliff, and now he's stuck up on the high ground. He's just immediately going to challenge the rest of compLexity and trap Chessie on an island. He just forced back all of compLexity to make sure that Chessie was not going to receive any help whatsoever. And it cost them BKB charge well worth it. 2 kills. Go to Kinguin. They're going to be able to immediately take that mid-tier 1 tower and probably take a tier 2 in the process. You can see Exotic Deer's hoping to be able to find one more, but no such luck. A 2,000 gold exchange there and a 4,000 bump in experience for Kinguin. Enchantress throwing a couple of inhibitor shots at Kinguin. Hoping to be able to save this tier 2. He's got to be careful. Pontos tries to make his initiation there. The attempted Centaur stun.
They're trying to get a little bit lower, though.
Yeah, they're not looking too healthy, so they do back up. Tier 2 managed to stay alive. Oh, and Earth Spirit now has a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, they're all starting to get strong, and this was the concern is Kinguin can just run at you.
Yeah.
It's not easy for any of their heroes to die. Everyone's quite tanky. Razor, Doom, even the 2 supports.
Would you say compLexity, they kind of have to finesse team fights? Like they can't let Kinguin get the initiation, and they kind of gotta kite some of these heroes or block them off with, say, like the Tusk and stuff.
The first jump on the Legion is really crucial.
Yeah.
Like if Legion doesn't get a really good jump to start the fight, like we saw there, everything just kind of like goes away from them.
Chessie trying to go for a kill here on the Doom, but
they're just gonna go into Roshan again. If they get spotted in this one, I don't know if they can turn this back around. Like this is a really significant Roshan for
looks like Kinguin's gonna go for the smoke. Are they gonna be fast enough though?
They gotta go now.
Roshan, it's too late. Roshan's already down. They're not even gonna be able to get that fight right outside the Roshan pit or either. Kinguin just no options. A little bit too late. Oh, he went for the 60 movement speed. 60 movement speed is so much for the Legion Commander instead of the 10% Bronc. I think we were talking about this. I think you almost always go for movement speed.
I think I was saying that the proc one isn't bad at all, but
yeah.
Maybe if it was like 30 move speed or 40 move speed, you would consider taking the proc instead, but 60 is...
60 is an overwhelmingly large amount, yeah.
You're running at near max. Or old cap max anyways.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think you can just run at whatever move speed you feel like.
Whatever you desire.
Kinguin though, they're reluctant to take a fight, and I don't blame them. The Aegis always makes things a little bit more complicated.
It seems. Am I wrong here? Both teams just seem to be okay with farming.
Yeah.
So who's right?
Probably Kinguin with their lineup.
Like, one of these teams has to be wrong about the fact that they can just AFK and farm.
Yeah.
So it's probably Kinguin who's right.
I mean, to prove my prediction correct, I'd like it for Kinguin to be correct. But at the same time, compLexity, their team fight is still really strong. They just need a really good initiation.
So you just got audience just got a little bit of insight into the mind of the Dota analysts. We're not biased towards teams, we're biased towards our predictions.
True. I think that Chessie is going to carry an unfair amount of weight on his shoulders. Yeah. Like, if he doesn't get a duel off, they lose the fight, and so if anything goes wrong, it's going to make him look pretty bad. But it's a bit unfair because the rest of his team, they don't follow up as well. And are we going to see another Rex trade situation? I don't think so.
Looking like it. Chessie starts taking on the tier 3, and Kinguin is going to be the one who blinks first. They're going to try and defend, but the tier 3 is already gone. Nisha starts charging forward, but not catching anybody, and his team is a little bit too far behind. So compLexity definitely won that game of chicken.
Well, that was really weird. Like, Kinguin had no glyph. They probably just thought that there's no way that compLexity was just going to go for it. And Cole just walked up and took that tower.
They got the shine on the way back, too.
Yeah, this is another weird anomaly. Like, nobody went to defend on the side of Kinguin.
Yeah.
And now the game just opens up again. That's 5k gold lead for compLexity all of a sudden.
For the effort.
Well, that's big. Ooh, an Arcane Rune. Can we get multiple duels here for Chessie? He does see some of the heroes. He's going to be able to spot exotic deer. He's going to be slowed down by the Shiva's Doom. Actually intercepts. He's going to go grab the Gyrocopter. BKB went out first, but he just also latched on. It was sealing away all of his damage. The Gyrocopter is pretty much entirely out of fight. Z-Freak's trying to do what damage he can, but the Razor up close doesn't take a whole lot of damage. It looks like Gyro's going to be chased down by Nisha. Back over the exotic deer, who did manage to heal himself off of the Veal lifesteal, is able to bring down Moo.
Am redus prețurile la parfumuri și cosmetice cu până la 60%. Black Friday cu transport gratuit.
He's able to close the distance, keep some damage on him, make sure he can't flick himself away. He does have Shadow Blade coming up in just 3 seconds time. Exotic Gear though, slowing him down even further. It's all going to be up to the Shadow Blade, whether or not they have detection, which they do not. So Chessie, blink TP attempt here maybe? Oh, they got him now. Capsword actually came in, finally got there with the gem. If he had blinked and TP'd, he might have escaped, but
Kyle now.
Oh, Kyle stuck inside the trees.
They should know that this game.
Death Ward actually blocking out Pato, so he takes a good amount of damage, but they take him down. He's actually forced to TP back for fear of the Maledict being enough, and we see compLexity just not getting a good enough initiation there, and really good response from Kinguin. They didn't turn and try and deal with the Legion at all. Immediately ran forward and dealt with the Gyrocopter.
That fight kind of is what made me so confused about them just giving up that bottom tower. Yeah. Because it felt like they could just take that fight at any point. Like, as soon as they doom limp, a lot of compLexity damage instantly goes away.
Pushing high ground against the Enchantress is still going to be a danger.
O să tricotăm împreună un rând.
Not the Devour Ancients, let's say.
Mânecă pe urmă să o fac pe...
The duel, and it's just not doing any damage.
Aș putea să bag o altă.
I mean, he doesn't have MKB, right? So he's got that miss percentage chance. The Broodmother's pretty tanky.
The rest of his team wasn't there also.
Yeah. Because they all got chased away, right? It was that Doom immediately moving forward.
Marcator.
Dooming the Gyrocopter, and Nisha also catching him with the static link.
Yeah, maybe they should have just... If he finds the angle on the Doom, it's a better one.
Yeah.
Because they can't let Limp get doomed right now.
Yeah.
Every single time, their second highest net worth hero is just getting doomed to begin the fight. But all 3 cores right now on Kinguin are incredibly farmed. The next 4 heroes are heroes on the side of compLexity, but I'm not sure if that matters when one of the heroes is just Doom and he's a fight ender.
So we've at least eliminated 1 point of initiation for a Legion Commander. Don't duel Exotic Deer anymore. Go for Nisha, go for Doom.
But Kinguin right now, they're smoked up.
Smoked up, might just find the initiation again. Moo, gonna be caught. Oh, never mind. Gets a Force Staff out real quickly. He, by the way, has the Aghanim Scepter. So that's gonna be even tougher for Kinguin to push into, and perhaps could be a killing blow with the Enchantress and Impetus shots as well.
compLexity, they're moving down the line right now. Leading with this Legion Commander. He's trying to find something, but all of these failed duels, they start to add up now.
Yeah.
It's 37 minutes in, you've got less duel damage than there is time in the game. You imagine that if he just won a few of those early on, maybe he'd feel comfortable scaling a little bit more, or maybe he'd get a few more of those kills. But no real second chances here.
He's trying to get a BKB. That'll certainly help him against the Brood Mother and that miss percentage chance, but kind of feels like he needs damage.
They lack a lot of things right now. Everybody needs Lincolns just to begin with.
And Kinguin are getting so tanky.
Yeah,
now got a Scotty on the Razor, so he's just going to latch on to the Gyrocopter and never let go.
Their Tricor just runs at you. They need a TP heroes back, though. I don't think they want to make the same mistake. No. compLexity's maybe hoping they can catch them, like, part 3 unawares. This time they're a little bit more trepidation in their push. That's because Nisha is frontlining.
The Aghanim's Doom pickup. It's going to be a nice counter. Being able to just lay it down on one of these heroes and just long you keep vision. Even the status resistance from the Legion Commander is not going to be effective if she never leaves the Doom side. Halberd trying to finish up for Limp. Again, more survivability over damage. You can see where compLexity are trying to focus right now, but it's leaving them with little options to be able to bring down the Kinguin heroes. They're controlling the map up really well. They're going to be able to take a second shrine here. Another little bump in gold. Net worth is actually entirely even right now. A bit of it more of an experience lead, though, for Kinguin. Perhaps that's a better tell of where this game is currently headed.
Yeah, it doesn't help that compLexity have taken out all the shrines. Whereas Kinguin, they haven't touched either.
Yeah. It's all going to come to a head. Off of the Roshan, I would presume, which should be spawning here in the next minute.
If Kinguin gets the next Roshan onto one of their heroes, I don't know how compLexity killed them twice.
Yeah.
Especially if it's that Razor. This guy's absurdly farmed right now.
Which one are you taking at level 25? I've actually never looked at that.
In this game?
Yeah.
The unstable current's pretty cool in this game.
Every 2 seconds you get a zap.
Yeah, you just chase people around. Zap, zap, zap.
But he has already got Scotty. He's already faster than most of these heroes.
Yeah, but now he's got Scotty and he can zap people.
Okay. Let's double down on it. Smoke up. Enchantress just picked up an MKB, so they've got a huge increase in damage for him. Just trying to make initiation. Oh, misses out. Trying to go for the Doom. Now going to turn around immediately. Already down to half health. Gun up. Not going to be making out if you're alive. It looks like it's the cheese. Not going to be enough to be able to heal him up. Nisha just keeps on staying on top of him, and it's stolen a total of 280 damage. Even Castro managed to find Kyle, giving them the extra kill on top. And Kinguin. Looks like Roshan did just spawn, so they can go ahead take a quick break, do that objective, and then after that, they can start focusing on high ground. Look at him. He went for the attack speed. With a bloodlust as well, Nisha attacks crazy fast.
In that situation, we saw the game highlighted. Like, if Legion doesn't get a good jump or instant, the fight's just over.
Yeah. And
even if he does...
Now we've got double Ags Doom.
Yeah, even if he does... who do they kill with it?
Yeah.
They don't put out enough damage right now. The Tricor from Kinguin just runs at them. It doesn't feel like you're sensing any of the presence of the Gyrocopter.
Okay, well, there goes the Walrus kick into exotic gear, but it's not exactly the first thing. You can just run down the cliff. Now they get the Doom onto the Enchantress in the backline while the first big move with Nisha. Second Doom goes down, catches the Gyrocopter, double slow down. Scotty plus the Shivas is far too much. They can't get back to the fountain and compLexity. They might as well just call it now. No buybacks on some of these heroes. Kinguin are very much large and in charge of the compLexity base. They do have a tier 2 up at that top lane, so maybe that's what compLexity are hoping, that Kinguin don't go for the throne here. Initiation there from the tier. BKB gonna pop. They're actually gonna be able to make a duel. Positive duel, maybe they blow up. Lip's gonna be able to get out a really good ult, especially these heroes just are dying. Kinguin is just too damn tanky. Lip just doesn't have the damage. Chased away by Nisha. A buyback from Chesty. Almost gonna be stopped by the boulder, but just stopped a little bit short. They're just gonna focus him down right underneath the fountain. He couldn't even get back. He was so slow. Oh, they're throwing it. And they're just gonna go for the throne. Now, surely compLexity, they see that the end is nigh. Kinguin are not going to be leaving. They're not going to give up due to the tier 2 being up there. They're not even going to worry about getting Megas. Kill the throne, compLexity. Going to have to take a little bit of a think here about what they need to do to bring down Kinguin. What went wrong in that game? Because these full teams had a lot of confidence that they could just sit back, farm, and they could win this game.
It was the Roshan engagement.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Welcome back to Shanghai for live
10
coverage of the
seconds
Perfect
remaining.
World Masters 2017, game number 3 in this lower bracket
5
second
seconds
round matchup.
remaining.
Kinguin and draft is
Radiant
underway. Let's
team
delve
pick.
into this. Ben, expectations for
Dire
this.
team pick.
I don't think we'll see a boot again. That's... Ooh, Ogre stolen already for first pick. Team Kinguin compLexity is going to have to
Dire
find another
team
hero for
Radiant
Kyle.
team
More running at you though.
Kind of a block pick for them.
Kyle is always playing.
Ooh, going back for Gyro again.
Again?
I'm very surprised.
Will they just gyro middle again? I'm really not convinced by it. I said it last game already, and it didn't work out at all. Like it was.
The rocket was annoying, but later in team fights,
back.
they got destroyed by the Razor so bad.
And they go for a Razor against straight,
Wow.
which is like the perfect response again.
Kyle has to be pulling some next level stuff here to first phase the Gyro into the Razor again. Because there's no way that you're asking for that if you're limp.
They definitely expected the Razor after the gyro. They have to.
Yeah.
Because it came out last game already.
10 seconds
And it worked
remaining.
well.
And it worked well, yeah.
This has to be mine.
What?
Yep.
I mean, they could put him
remaining.
safe lane potentially and put like a Quap or something mid lane.
Yep, that is pretty good.
Radiant team ban.
Because gyro is...
They not throw him in the offlane?
Sounds awful.
Gyro off lane, that actually... I mean,
Old
Call
school?
could do it, but it does sound a bit awful.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Like a little
I'm
bit.
just, you never know with Kyle, right, where stuff's going. So
Yeah,
I'm just throwing stuff out there for the fun of it right now.
Well, but to be fair, it might
remaining.
just end up being the way again because we spoke about the offlane being the new safe lane now and
5
stuff. So
seconds
they could
remaining.
definitely like dual lane the gyro there.
Maybe Z-Freak support with Max Rocket.
Dire team
I mean,
ban.
Did you see,
We're
did you see
we're
his
close
end
to
farm?
Black's 5 position gyro right now.
Did you see his end farm? He
Yeah.
was number 1 net worth. If that's on a gyro, you can carry the team. No problem.
Banned.
Yep.
Yeah, they've had enough of that. It
Radiant
wasn't quite
team
as annoying
ban.
in game 2, but they've had enough.
He still did a lot of work.
And
a lot
there's
of
the
damage.
Brood ban, obviously. From,
Medusa and Brood
compLexity. Yeah, so
banned.
just get him out of there.
Annoyance is gone.
It's kind of cool for Kinguin. It means compLexity have to waste a ban on that, I suppose.
10
Yeah, even though I
seconds
feel like the Brood
remaining.
was actually not the most impactful.
Mm.
No,
I felt Razor did most of the work last game.
5 seconds remaining.
and he has Bloodlust.
Bloodlust and Razor is actually so strong.
amazing.
Yeah, with the passive combined, you permanently haste it basically as soon as you have a Yasha.
Dire team pick.
And they ban out the Quap, so no more Quap middle shenanigans.
Ah, what other heroes good versus Razor in
team
mid? The Bliss is not very large.
Well, not Leshrac.
Electric, I think, is generally okay for the overs. Not that bad.
Actually, the new Lesh,
The new Lesh is
should
fine.
be fine, yeah. But they also run a lot of support Lesh in the past on
Yep.
Kyle. It's probably Kyle's hero.
10 seconds
I think it's one of his
remaining.
best, actually.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's also very squishy.
5
it
seconds
is. But he builds
remaining.
a arcane mech, I think, on the hero.
It's just the complexity. Like I think the problem they have with those kind of position 5 heroes is he generally doesn't get much money out of Z-Freak.
He does though. He actually he plays this like a twin head, like the
Oh, so
Jakiro.
it kind of just pushes out lanes.
Yeah, he just pushes out lanes and farms a lot, and then
Right.
he gets towers, and then he gets the money, and then he joins the
Yeah,
fight.
that makes a lot of sense then.
And I think he'll be laning with the Sand King a lot, and just following
We
him.
Radiant
looked at the repeat from
pick.
last game.
Yeah.
It's the same draft, the same heroes. You go for IO. So it's offline Sand King, 5 Lash. Well, it could be mid Lash as well.
It's
What-
probably 5.
Yeah, I think they want to do the IO Gyro mid with just a rocket spam. Give him
10
back mana with the
seconds
IO.
remaining.
That doesn't sound very great.
I mean, that's what they.
5 seconds
That's what
remaining.
people used to do back then, just like to zone the mid laner. But that
Yeah.
was also a different rocket, one that dealt way more damage. They don't have the best IO partners right now, honestly.
Yeah, what are good IO partners though?
That are still free.
Chaos Knight's actually pretty good. Chaos Knight, I really like
Chaos
versus
really
Kinguin's
good.
heroes.
I also think Sven is not bad.
Sven versus Doom Razor, that was like not great. I think it's a way better core matchup.
Actually, the Razor against Sven matchup, once you reach mid lane, you can have like 2-3 hit him, so it's not that bad. Nyx. They think it's a core lash. It's definitely not a core lash.
It's definitely not a core.
Definitely not know. Yeah. If they ever thought of doing it, they won't know.
At least they get less on complexity. I'm totally down with CK. CK blows up all their heroes.
Yeah,
No way
CK needs to get banned right
Yeah.
now. It needs to get banned right now.
5 seconds remaining.
Kinguin is smart enough. They also ran into a CK yesterday, I believe, when they played against Vega. So they should definitely be aware of the possibility.
Any other heroes that we can imagine?
Well, CK is. I think Sven is also not bad, as I said before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably only the second best. Like CK is by far the best, and then after that you have to make do with like par heroes.
Second is pretty meh. PA is pretty meh.
Yeah, Razor against PA is actually just
awful.
Yeah. Have that.
Venom's not bad.
Well, technically anti-mage, but I don't think Call could run that.
No, I don't.
Call is not an aim team.
Ember, but there's Nyx in the pool and Doom.
Radiant team ban.
Storm? Storm for there's... Storm's possible.
Storm is possible, because a lot of people actually can play around the Nyx.
Yeah.
I don't know if... Again, I think it's like too meta for Call. They would never go for this kind of stuff, right?
But isn't
not
Chaos
if this
Knight
draft
meta?
is anything to go by.
Chaos Knight is kind of meta, but it never really gets like picked early, you know? It always gets picked like 4th or 5th.
5
You
seconds
can still
remaining.
kind of see it as Call area.
Could that be Monkey King?
MK is quite good against Doom in the lane as well. One of the heroes that actually dominate him in the lane.
Ursa? Ursa's also an option too.
So the CK is not the obvious ban just yet, because they're taking time over it.
I really don't want to see another gyro middle though, but probably we will though.
I actually like Ursa too. Ursa, I think
Ursa
could work well.
Ursa is good. Can blow up the Razor as well. And they get Roshan. They already have tower push.
Yeah. My ranking would be CK, then Ursa,
Probably something
and then Sven.
Yeah.
It's that moment in the boot.
And then Storm.
Please don't ban CK. Don't ban it.
Well,
it might be. But we don't know what Cole thinks, honestly. They...
No one knows.
Nobody knows what
Kyle
they think.
doesn't even know.
Like, Kinguin is kind of like trying to get in their head right now. Like, then they overthink it, and then they ban Terrorblade. Think they'll ban Ursa? I mean, Ursa makes sense to ban, honestly. There's a lot of good heroes for Call right now. Could potentially work.
We still think CK.
He's like, yeah, if they don't ban CK, we won.
Yeah. He literally is thinking that right now. Don't even need a mind reader.
Yeah, they're just like talking about what if the band's Weaver.
Look at his face. Look at his face. I told you.
I actually thought, isn't Weaver really bad against Nyx? Like really bad.
Weaver's like not great.
Like whenever you're on top of Weaver, you literally just carapace and he's dead.
Remaining.
Right?
It's good for Razor.
Well, whether they wanted the CK or not. Benji on the other side. There we go, instant pick. It is the CK. We called that. We called that right from the beginning because he actually did laugh when he saw the Weaver ban.
He instantly laughed.
Yeah. Yeah.
They definitely should have banned him.
I mean, there's no way Kinguin did not think about this possibility. Because yesterday it actually happened too, where they got last pick CK and it almost cost them the game.
They look worried.
They should be.
Look worried at that.
Honestly, if the CK gets 2-3 items, this game is going to be so hard to play. What do they do against the illusions?
I'm with complexity. Yeah, they don't have anything for solutions.
Yeah, I have to go.
Can I just remind you, Ben, of your responsibility on this panel?
To not panel curse?
To not panel curse. And you are currently both 0 and 2 in this series.
You pick for us?
Oh, crap.
Also, I said I'm not picking, so one of you has to pick for me.
Way too much responsibility. How do you do this job? I can't do this.
We're both with complexity. I'll pick for him.
Yeah, we're complexity. Well, don't crumble under the pressure, dude.
Right, well, complexity it is. Stop, I can't do this job. Time to go over to our casters and not curse anything for either team. Let's just have a great third game. Enjoy, people.
Thank you, Paul. We will enjoy. Heading into game number 3 of Complexity versus Kinguin. It seems our panel Despite being wrong multiple times, they're pretty confident complexity's got this. And I agree with them. Complexity, last pick Chaos Knight, that seemed like a gimme, Blitz.
It did, and I think I told you too, I said, if complexity picks CK, is GG.
Is GG indeed. And Kinguin, there's still a whole entire game to play out. They're going to have to start with a draft that looks good from everyone's opinion, including ours. But we'll have to see what they can do inside of the game, because they've got a Vengeance Spirit Razor. They've got a lineup that can snowball pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Right? With a lot of physical damage, they can win certain fights. They take Roshan. They get some objectives. Next thing you know, they are far away ahead.
This Kyle guy is really smart.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Just like, I like the clap that he did. Like, we got Chaos Knight.
Swindles. Not the best captain, but Kyle.
Oof. Thank God.
He's putting in work. He's putting in work.
Yeah.
Look how much better they got after they picked him up.
Yeah.
They might even get another top 4 finish in a minor.
Found that third brother. Oh, and that picture too.
Look at that, man.
There is a pretty heavy smoke from Complexity right now that we're currently watching, that they are just shy of being able to run into the Doom and get themselves an easy first blood. But not quite good enough, it seems. Doom's going to be hanging out at the tier 2, not taking any risks whatsoever, and the rest of the Kinguin have gone on full invasion mode. Yeah. So Complexity are going to have to break up this delicate affair.
What's up?
Are you listening to the Chinese cast right now?
No, I'm like,
I know you don't speak Chinese.
I was trying to figure out like what the crowd, well, like what team do you think they're cheering for? There's got to be like, just by population density, there's like 4 people in here that are probably a big fan of Kyle, right?
You know, I actually saw there were SG fans at Hamburg.
Yeah, I saw those
there was
too.
a couple of Brazilian guys who were already in Europe for whatever reason, went to Hamburg. So maybe there's a wild NA fanboy here.
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
They just want to see some good Dota.
And that's what we're going to see, right, Blitz?
Yeah.
This time around, the Gyrocopter versus Razor Lane.
Part 2. Run it back.
Part 2, but he's got IO.
Here's what you do. You let Z-Freak get the last hits, as usual. So when you static link the Gyro, you're like, who cares? The real carry.
The real carry is this Wisp who has no turn rate.
And he's gonna get the auto shotty too.
Imagine a carry that had no turn rate. You know, a range carry that just was able to run backwards and right click you.
You're about to see one, dude.
Kyle is going to be playing his signature Leshrac. They run some unusual 5 positions for Kyle. You know, like they were spamming the Kunkka a whole lot. They've got Leshrac.
These
another homing
are such weird lanes.
They really are.
They have a tri-lane Doom, an off-lane solo Venge. It's not really an off-lane because she gets the one-on-one against the Sand King, and I don't know if she's too broken up about that.
They just don't want the Doom versus the Sand King, right? Because that's an auto-loss lane.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Melees against Sand King. Oof. He's like one of the few heroes that Timbersaw doesn't like.
And at the same time, he can't sit in alone in lane against a Chaos Knight because he's a hero with 0 armor. So the minus armor and the physical damage that comes out from Chaos Knight is far too much for him to handle.
Yeah, and Kyle is just beating these 2 heroes back.
And he's got the Wisp here too. They managed to get a 1-second stun onto LD. Sash trying to set up for the Leshrac stun, not able to do so. They actually really good in tail, and they're going to start running back Z-Freak. Now here comes Patos, but here comes Moo as well. Apparently Complexity going to bring 4 members here. They're going to pop the mango, easily get this overkill. They're going to give it to Z-Freak, the true carry of the team.
That's what I'm telling you, dude.
You were right all along, Blitz. Just like always. Oh, Z-Freak didn't quite make it up the cliff.
Like always.
Catsoar.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
That's the synergy. But at bottom lane, they do swap things up. It's going to probably force Doom up to top. That means the Venge is now going to go all the way bottom. I do think that this is the swap to make. Because I don't know if the Doom gets to do anything at bottom lane. Like, he's just going to sit there. But they have like a more natural lane. Now you're putting a Venge in an aggro position, which I think is much more favorable for you if they don't decide to swap.
Yeah.
So now Complexity should be pretty happy with this setup.
But shouldn't you be kind of unhappy about the fact that you're 2v1ing the Razor and he's beating you out in CS? Like this isn't a lane that beat the Razor, right?
Yeah, this is now the second game that I've seen them go to this, and I'm not sure like what it's supposed to accomplish. It's a bit different now that the unstable current doesn't like cause you to purge yourself when you do cast the rocket on him, but at the same time, like Nisha does not care. Like he's already level 4, and this Gyro is level 2, but this is the 3rd time that they've gone for it, and might I say unsuccessfully. So I'm not.
I mean, compLexity have been in the past quite stubborn about their strategies, right? They ran the core Jakiro, what was that, like that a year ago? The mid Jakiro that they ran over and over again.
That won some games though. So
that
far,
won some games.
Data has shown us that
Gyro has not.
Yeah, it's not winning them. Like he's getting handled in mid right now. It's almost a 2-level advantage. All 3 cores doing quite well for themselves. This Doom is actually profiting quite nicely out of bottom lane.
And with so much movement, it's not even like our side lanes are doing all that well. They're actually a little bit low in CS. Open Sea Freak. They're running into Katsuri. He does manage to find Haste Rune. And he's just going to keep running, see if he can hit the stun on Limp. Gives up on it.
Just going to come in and poke, but not much happening as the Razor continues to just get like a 2-level advantage. Nisha going on Z Freak might even get him. One more hit would do it.
Oh, and he's got him. Homing Missile is going to do a lot of damage for the Razor, but Limp has no physical damage left with 36 taken away. Mass TV's up to the top lane. Jesse is going to be able to nail the stun, joined by Moo. compLexity just keep on moving these 2 cores into the same lane the moment they feel just a little bit endangered. Bring the necessary numbers to make sure they do manage to pick up kills. Another homing missile, down to 70 HP, and Limp still can go and try and challenge the Razor and go for that kill.
Yeah, with no Rocket Barrage, he doesn't threaten at all. And even if he did have mana for the Flat Cannon, I don't know if the Razor cares. Like every hit stealing less than 20 a hit.
Yeah.
Gyro already has pretty bad base damage to begin with. So the Razor getting this far ahead on top of the static link that he steals, even 2 or 3 seconds ruins his CSing ability.
Okay, Nietzsche actually just keeps on running into him, does manage to get the static link off. Moo not going for the stun there.
Nisha's having his way with this lane right now. On top of that, he did manage to get a solo kill onto the Wisp.
Wait, so what was the point of that? Why did they go mid if they weren't going to try for the Burrow Strike and see what happened?
Radiant are scanning.
I think they're maybe kind of tilting a little bit.
Yeah.
Like in the sense that they want to grab this Razor kill. They realize that this lane is going poorly. They lost the hero, and now it's going to be Limp.
And now Limp, if he gets hit by the Intel stun, they do have Z-Freak to help him out, and a TP from Kyle. Spooks Kinguin from going for that aggressive move.
But every single time, like they've got to rotate a lot of heroes. Because of Moo's rotation up the top, he also loses down in that bottom lane. He had to make his way all the way from top to bottom. And during that time, the Doom just farms away, gets even further ahead with that Devour. He wants to try to Doom Moo at bottom.
CS by far for the Doom, but 25 and 22. 22 denies for Nisha.
There goes the Doom.
Successful Doom onto Moo. Now he has to go into the trees, tuck himself away, and see if he can just dodge all of the follow-up spells that are going to be thrown at him, especially the Ignite that's going to look to slow him down. They lead with a stun first. Kato's trying to close in, but the Doom is going to wear out here. Now Moo can turn if he wants to. He does have the epicenter, but Elisash is quite tanky, so just happy to survive. Moo will back out.
Yeah, force the first Doom, doesn't do too much, but it's still lane controlled. This Doom doesn't even flinch, just continues to go back to farming. That's the upside though of the Sand King. When he has the Trinkles, he just runs away.
And he actually tries to wrap on mid, but Elisash spots him out.
Another rocket falls on Anisha, who continues to not really be perturbed by this.
Top tower is under attack.
Stun here in the top lane. They do manage to get a 2-man Burrow Strike. Moo. This is a really successful rotation if they can get both of them, but it looks like a TP out from Katsura is successful. So it's only going to be Exotic Deer's Vengeful Spirit who ends up going down.
Still the carry. And this is the lane that they have to focus on now. The other lanes I think have gone a little bit too poorly. Chessie's going to have to pull you out of this hole.
just like he tried to do with the Legion Commander game. But this time he's on a little bit more fitting hero. Like, last time it was the Gyrocopter, was like, he's kind of the better carry, right, than Legion Commander. But there's no question, Chaos Knight is the big hitter for this game.
Yeah, and he has to be. Once again, he's got an inordinate amount of pressure on him. The Legion game, you can't really fault him for too much. I know people are going to see that he messed up once or twice, but even if he plays that perfectly, I think it's a little bit of a rough game for him.
Yeah, look how scared this Chaos Knight is.
Because he knows that these heroes, like the other heroes are independent on the side of Kinguin.
Right onto the Razor with the epicenter. They really want this kill. It looks like they should be able to bring him down with a magic damage. And that is a big difference. This time around, the Razor is facing a lot of magic damage. Kinguin try and go for the dive against the Chaos Knight, since they did show so many heroes there in the middle lane. Try and go for the dive, but Chessie, as you saw, has been playing very patiently. Pulls Katsor back, but doesn't get the hit in. So the Impale does manage to land, meaning the stun's not going to land inside of the tower range, and Chessie's not able to go for the kill just yet. Lou's joining him, though.
Very nice Impale. Should have died right there.
Yeah.
That was a really nice reality rip from Chessie. But I think he overthought things. In that play, I think you just go for the stun anyways. Even if you get hit by the Spike Carapace. The level 1 duration is really low. It's less than a second.
Top 3 net worth on the boards, all going to the Kinguin members, but that's kind of been every single game, is that their cores get really farmed, but the supports on the side of compLexity are a little bit boosted.
Yeah, they do a lot better, but Kinguin supports, especially the Ogre, doesn't require anything.
Dude, Moose been chilling out here this whole entire time, and finally he's going to find his opportunity to get aggressive and punish Castle for the dive.
Yeah, look at that. You pop the Spike Carapace level 1, nobody really cares.
Yeah,
it's off so quickly.
A tie to the impurity.
I was asking Yapsor about that.
About maxing it or something?
Yeah, the Spike Carapace max.
What did he say?
He just kind of shrugged and said, longer stuns.
Generation.
I was like, all right, fair enough. I mean, there were a lot of abilities in that game where you could get easy Spike Carapace stuns. So.
I think Mana Burn has more utility later on in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Spike Carapace, it sets up into your stun, which is important.
I was talking about the 114 build that he
114.
did. Yeah, he did that for one of the secret games.
A lot of stun.
That is a lot of stun very early on.
The base duration of Impale is better anyways.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
And the lower cooldown as well. Yeah. Just a lot of little things, but it's definitely not what we're used to seeing. Sure. So you can see from this Nyx Assassin, he's going the normal build. 4-1-1 build.
Doom at bottom has Doom available.
Dude, compLexity's doing a great job of reading when Kinguin want to go for these dives. This time around, it's going to be Limp at the bottom lane, and he's already countered it. He's managed to get the missile out with the ultimate, and he is going to be able to slide right on high. Pato's not able to get the Doom initiation he was searching for, and they're not even close to bringing down the tower either.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
What's the follow-up though? Like, what's the counter here? They start pushing on top themselves. It's a little bit later. They have Edict though.
I mean, surely they got to defend one of these towers. If it's not bottom, it's got to be middle.
Yeah.
I think the mid one is more right now with his orbs.
Z3 trying to avoid getting spiked.
Okay, that's going to be Static Link on cooldown to the Chaos Knight. Katsor, that is not a way out anymore. We've all made that mistake, my friend. We've all made that mistake. But there's no longer a passageway through those trees.
Oh, is there not?
No. You have to cut down some trees to go through.
So this area right here?
Yeah. That little hole.
I see.
Yep. Oh, so you're going to have to relocate down to the bottom lane. Exotic Deer, a very immobile course, but the Spirit's going to be caught by the gank from Moo and Z-Freak. Really well set up by Dak, and they're going to blow the epicenter for it as well. 7-1 right now. compLexity, though, are not ahead by that much net worth. I want to stress that. They've been getting all the kills, but they've also been grouping up a ton to be able to get some kills that are honestly not that important. The Exotic Deer kill was fantastic, but I'm thinking like the 4-man top to be able to kill the Nyx Assassin. So the kill score is going to be a little bit misleading.
It is, because every single time somebody on Kinguin dies, the other two cores just continue to farm. And it's a significant advantage. Although I think they're tired of it, so they're going to go for a smoke of their own. There is a limit to these things.
Apparently Exotic Deer not wanting to join them. He's trying to build towards his Mask of Mandarin right now, but they're going to use Nisha. That's the big guy right now. Nisha is hard to fight, so whoever they run into, and it looks like they're going to go for Moo here. It's got a hard kill to get, but if they can get him, it's going to be a tier 1 tower bid.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. They land the intel. That's going to be a great start. Moon turns around, goes to the Burrow Strike, does manage to get off onto the Doom. No ultimate being thrown just yet. Instead, just trying to nuke him down. And they're going to try and run it down with the help of Nisha, but they're not able to get it.
No.
Spamming the things too. Moose says, see you later. Kinguin are just going to have to try and take a tier 1 tower. That should be successful.
He did a very good job of that. The stun placement, he could have just gone for the easy one and tried to make his way up to the left, but I think he dies in that case. What he does though is he stuns up the Doom, so he can't get doomed, creates some distance between him and the rest of the heroes. Kyle,
what you doing there, Kyle?
Kyle is gonna tank the gank for his team.
He is making space, as the kids say. Look at him go. So much space.
He's gonna get stunned.
There's no way he makes that up.
But space, bottom lane.
All right, a little off on that timing, but it's okay. It's still a creep wave. That's all yours, buddy. There's no one around.
Has the 4 levels of Fleck now.
And
what's the ancient situation?
And he has the Mask of Madness.
Yeah. Under attack.
It's kind of important, I feel.
There's a lot of ancient stacks, by the way.
Yes, there
much better gyro game.
And a double damage at top lane. Pick that up.
Yeah.
Make things a little bit easier.
His recovery's been a lot more smooth in this game than it has in the previous one.
Yeah.
And
but
that
it
game
could all be shut down by Patos here, who's got a Shadow Blade coming in pretty quickly.
He's gonna spot the ancient stack too. He's pinging like crazy. He wants a ward up there, so that they can contest eventually.
Well, they've already got the ward in place. Smoke up from compLexity, wrapping around on mid, just like Kinguin did earlier. But the difference is there's a Nyx assassin, and he just popped that smoke, not running into the sentry just yet. Now he is, but compLexity are not in position to punish him.
They're pinging like crazy. Right now, I think Kinguin should just invade this jungle area, which they have, control the ancients, so you never allow compLexity to get that with ease. I think that's the correct way to do this.
Unfortunately for them, though, Lim still has a different ancient stack that he can play off of.
Yeah,
and they're going to get that other ancient stack eventually, right? Kinguin do not have the heroes to steal.
No. But they were trying to slow it down with whatever move they could, but they're unaware of this one.
Yeah.
Much better farm in this game. It felt like last game he was just always catching up, like he was behind the pack at all times. This time around, getting a lot more farm, no hum of Dom on him, straight for the Mask of Madness.
Assassin trying to scout out some of these heroes. That's going to be another sentry placed out. That is... Look at Katsor. He knows there's a high chance that there's a sentry there, and running into the high ground makes it a little scary. He does run into the sentry now, but Chessie gave up on that push. Looks like he starts pushing forward, but Sven move. Kyle gonna go for the kill on the Exotic Gear. A hero that is so susceptible to magic damage, and they've got it in space here. Trying to blow up Exotic Gear just enough. And now they can turn on Elisa. She's already on a half HP, and Kyle's dishing it out right now. He's able to take another hero down. Of course, he is surrounded by Kinguin members. Trying to put on his juke shoes. Not gonna happen, though. Katsor does manage to land that stun, but a 2-for-2 trade where they bring down Exotic Deer and create a lot of space for the rest of compLexity's heroes.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty happy about that. They've got vision of this bottom area as Patos is going to get stunned up. And something that we should mention, that I think we mentioned in the draft, is that the Wisp is incredibly good against Doom as a hero.
Yeah.
Just because anytime anybody gets doomed, you just reset the fight. You take them a little bit further away. The Doom's not going to do a whole lot as an independent damage dealer. You're going to feel pretty safe in this game. And the Razor, a hero that traditionally just wants some fights, isn't really able to find anything. Like, they're being denied the opportunity to go for the 5-man of their own, similar to last game. And it's just heroes getting picked off right now. Exotic Deer has a Mask of Madness himself, but is only level 9. Out of all the cores, he's suffered by far the most. And another Ancient stack coming in, and this is the time that compLexity, they want to protect it. They're pinging their gyro over. They want to secure this one. Chessie is strong enough to fight right now. They've got Relocate. There's no Doom up. They're even going to go for the D ward here. Best opportunity for them, and Kinguin are way too late for this.
Yeah, the Ancient stack's pretty much already done. Really helped that they picked up that level 10 talent, the extra damage for the gyrocopter. Making the flak cannon that much more effective. The sentry's already in place. They are going to be able to find the Nyx assassin, lay down another sentry, get the combo stuns to make sure there's no Spike Carapace opportunity, and go right back to clearing that Ancient stack. compLexity really ensuring there's going to be no contesting here.
Yeah, very nice kill on that Nyx, who continues to have a pretty rough game. Katsor has had some pretty good stuns, but...
has not found a whole lot of opportunities.
And the initiation is going to be really awkward for Kinguin.
Yeah.
The more that I think about it, they have 2 Shadow Blades, no Blink Dagger on the Doom, which the Shadow Blade is more of a scaling item, and it allows him to go for the solo pickoffs. But in terms of initiation, it's a lot weaker than the Blink Dagger. Yeah. So you're going to have to rely on compLexity not having sentries, but sentries will be readily available. Like, this is Kyle you're playing against.
Yeah.
Like, this man is made of sentries. He sees 200 gold, he's going to say, wow, another 2 sentries for my team.
Do you think part of that is that they just don't have a good answer to the Wisp? Right? Like, if Razor and Doom are very slow damage over time heroes.
Yes.
And countered by the Wisp heavily. And they don't have a good controller for the Wisp either. They've got to get to that backline somehow.
And that's why I would have liked to see more of the Blink.
Yeah.
Because Nyx, as an independent force, it's difficult to initiate. Because you have to assume, and you just have to assume, that people are going to have sentries everywhere.
Yeah.
When you play against it, especially if you're the lead stun. The only other option is you get Exotic Deer to swap in. But in a 5-on-5 fight, that's kind of death. That should be your last resort. Whereas for compLexity, the fight setup is a lot easier. They've got Moo this time who understands that, has a Blink Dagger instead of the Force Staff. And that bottom lane,
jump in there. Going to be able to find Nisha here with the AoE damage from the magic. Plus the homing missile chasing down. Nisha's just no chance of making
they want more. Chessie knows that Catsor's over here. He's making his way through the jungle. Barely misses on the reality rift. Gets him this time though.
Pull him back. Oh no, that wasn't the relocate you wanted. I think he got spike carapace off of his orb and couldn't kill the tether.
Ah.
And as a result, Catsor's going to be able to live. Or at least for the time being, maybe not. Kyle starts running him down. They're going to try and go for that kill. At the same time, going for Elisage, that's the easier one for sure.
Yeah, and Elisage now dies for no reason. And the reason why this is happening, you're wondering, viewers, like, why is Kinguin just dying on Wrath of Man? It's because they can't start a fight. It's not easy for them, and so they're not willing to take one. But as a result, compLexity plays a lot faster than you. Like, they have plenty of ways to start fights. They can relocate in, they can just send up, even the homing missile is relatively effective. They've got tons of stuns and follow-up. It's much easier for compLexity to start these fights.
Vlad all ready for our Wisp. 20 minutes in. He had an Urn on top of that, plus Treads. He is sitting at 5,600 net worth right now. Way ahead in for the 60 damage. Hell yeah, I'm about that. You need to start right-clicking some fools.
You're about that life?
Yeah, I mean, you just got Treads.
400 spirits max range? I mean, is that super effective?
I think it's roughly the same in team fights, especially these team fights. I don't think there's any whole lot of heroes that you're trying to get your orbs on in the back line.
All the damage talents on supports are underrated. All right, so here's the engagement right now from Kinguin. They have to...
They're baiting up the Ogre right now. The 4-man smoking the Ogre. He's kind of baiting Chessie, and they are going to be able to get some initiation here. Chessie trying to lock it down. They do manage to get the static link on top of it. They swap back. Looks like they should be able to bring down that Camp Knight, but so is the Doom. He's also going to die, and that was one of the top net worths of Kinguin. But Nisha and Exotic Field is still ready to fight. Xeebreak, he's going to be the next one down.
Moo wants to still go for this, though, waiting for his blink.
Barely able to live through the Doom. Our Gyrocopter is going to be okay.
3 for 2 trade. That was probably the best set of circumstances. They laid down the sentry really late. If they have one right there, then they should be able to get the instant kill, but at the same time, Io wasn't able to relocate anybody out. Really needed to get somebody out of there.
Yeah. Now, even though it was 2 for 3, it looks like Kinguin are far enough behind that they actually got more gold out of that engagement than compLexity did.
Cole just have to be really careful about having sentries pretty much everywhere. You can't allow Kinguin.
Oh, the epicenter moves to go for the solo kill. Do they have the relocate coming up in a second as the Wisp revives are going to come for this kill and bring in Chessie. But a swap back, the Chaos Bolt still pursues him, and they might be able to catch him too. Oh no, did Vengeful Spirit just swap and not even save Nisha's life? Indeed,
oh, no.
The Burrow Strike catches him. And at bottom lane, it looks like Kyle almost dies to Catsor, but he's not able to finish him off just yet. He needs another Impale. And it's going to be 5 seconds. If he can land it, he's good. Okay, or Elisage come in. Oh, never mind. Xeebreak's actually going to be able to save his brother. Kyle's going to be able to live through this as the Wisp just provides far too many heals.
This Thanksgiving, I am thankful for my Wisp brother.
I think Kyle be very thankful that Xeebreak is stuck with compLexity through thick and thin.
Stuck. He chose this life. And he's going to be rewarded, because right now they're headed to top 4. The way that this game is going, because I still don't know how Kinguin is supposed to take fights.
I forgot that it's top 4.
Yeah.
Once you make it through this.
Kinguin right now, like, they're getting picked off around the map because they need a farm, but it's not similar to last game where they had an Earth Spirit as a follow-up. Nyx is a very different hero. Like, this hero scouts for you, sure, but the stun is so unreliable.
Cats are.
You don't get to roll in halfway across the map and just, like, chuck stones at people.
Yeah.
You've got to get relatively close and hope that nobody moves. Like, you've got to line it up and place it. It's so rough.
6,000 gold lead and a very large Chaos Knight, and we were all saying that this is going to be a great Chaos Knight game. He hasn't been shut down. In fact, he's probably not meeting expectations when it comes to farm. He is neck and neck with the Gyrocopter and the Doom, who's currently the silver lining to Kinguin's very dark cloud that is game 3.
Yeah. And bottom tower right now being taken. Kinguin are doing a very good job of mirroring compLexity. That is the one bright spot for them, as even though the score is 6-17 and a lot of the towers go on the side of compLexity, the net worth isn't outrageous quite yet. And they do have a Doom. This is the benefit of their lineup, is like Doom will shut down a lot of your net worth in a fight. But again, it kind of goes back to there's a Wisp on the other side, so if he gets to relocate Tether out, well, your big teamfight spell that has to win you the fight is out of commission.
Plus, there's 2 carries on the field, right? The Gyrocopter and the Chaos Knight are both problems that you want to be able to do.
Yeah, an Exotic Deer right now doesn't have enough farm.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
What is he supposed to do against the CK? He sees 5 illusions and he Mask of Madness is away.
Yeah.
Like, he can't fight into that. Not nearly strong enough.
I mean, saw last time what happened. He swapped in and instantly died.
That was him assessing the net worth. He's like, whatever.
Yep. Gotta try to save Nisha.
Dire are scanning.
So once again, Kinguin most likely going to have to give up this mid tower, but compLexity,
smoke up.
They're not only interested. Yeah, they're not only interested in the tower.
They want to try and get that big fight that allows them to push high ground, right, with Phantasm?
Yeah, Moo pushing forward, but unable to find too much. Overreaching a little bit. Yeah. Kinguin, you need to shove out top. Exotic Deer skips the wave up the top is how he should do it, and the rest of the team just needs to farm. Yeah, scary.
Could they even relocate? Could possibly catch.
Maybe they go high ground.
Spirit.
I think they have a decent shot of just continuing to go.
They've got Aegis, they've got Phantasm. There's no reason not to, right?
They were trying to force a glyph. Kinguin's got this weird habit though of like letting this mid tower just get beat on. A show of force is usually enough to send teams back. You show like 3 heroes in the front. For the most part, like even if you don't pose a huge threat, it'll make the enemy team think twice. But compLexity is getting bold, and every game they just walk up and hit towers.
Yeah, they're just walking up there and doing a little bit more. Because like I do feel like against other teams, what Kinguin has done is very smart, just letting them just kind of poke at a high ground, because it honestly has become very predictable. And me as a commentator, I'm always saying like, and they're gonna go poke at high ground and force him back, you know? So if it's become that predictable, you could see why Kinguin do that.
Your solution is to let them just give up free tower damage for absolutely nothing.
Well, I mean, compLexity, you saw what compLexity did there, right?
That's
they backed up on their own.
Oh, modified Doom gets caught.
Doom. Oh, Doom does manage to get off the BKB, so no follow-up stun. Thankfully, that was a short stun. Looked like only 2 seconds, so Patos is able to get out alive. But boy, does he need some armor. He's trying to build a Shivas right now.
They're picking top, by the way. They want to set up something on Limp. By the way, your suggestion is like the same thing as you get into a street fight with someone and you just start punching yourself in your own face because they don't expect it. And like, it's a new meta. I can't even hurt myself.
I mean, I understand a street fight meta. Apparently you don't, Blitz.
I'm really behind on the time.
One step ahead.
I'm doing things wrong in my pub games if I'm not letting people just hit my towers for free.
I'm not crazy, right? The compLexity did back up on their own for the most part.
That is the stupidest suggestion. And there's no way that there's no way those two things correlate. But I'll let you have it, you know?
Then why is Kinguin doing?
What is that?
That's the question I pose to you, Blitz. Why are they punching themselves in their face?
I don't know. They gotta go. They really have to get back sooner.
Yeah.
They
lost to tier 3 last game pretty early because of that.
Yeah. Oh, can you get the Wisp Ag Scepter bonus into the gyro? So you give him on top of the
Yes.
Yeah, you give him the flash upgrade.
Oh, Patos is in trouble. The relocate comes in. BKB TP. Oh my God, he almost died anyway. Oh, that was a lot.
That's a pretty cool synergy. Like I think that item sucks on gyro, but if it's given to you for free, why not?
No, dude. The better one is the Aghanim's Phantasm.
The Aghanim's Phantasm is really cool.
You can have many wisps.
Can't you choose which one you take?
Yeah.
The thing is, you would
do
always
any
choose
of your
yourself.
allies.
You would always choose yourself.
That's why the joke.
Yeah, okay.
That was a joke.
What about Leshrac? Leshrac's pretty cool. Sand King. There's a lot of value in that Ag's Wisp one.
Maybe if they could all tether you.
There's some value. Like if you send Gyro in with his Manta and you Phantasm him, you have a lot.
Sure, why would... But again, why would you just Phantasm the Chaos Knight then?
I don't know, man. Get some Naruto stuff going on.
It'll be legit with the, like when he puts it onto Kyle. You know, like in those sort of scenarios where he needs to save Kyle.
Yeah.
Big upgrade in damage there.
The Pulse Nova is a lot more. It's like you get an additional level.
You could preemptively do the Burrow Strike. So you tether onto the Sand King and he does a Burrow Strike initiation, blinks back. You know, mind game.
Yeah, all of them have one. So that's the cool part about this.
Yeah.
It's like a Wisp is an Alk, this game. But with none of the permanents. As Limp now finishes a Scotty. Electing to not go for a Lincoln's, by the way. None of them are. Despite there being both the Razor Static Link and the Doom.
And the swap.
Yeah, there's a lot of major single target abilities. That's pretty much all of Kinguin. It's just a lot of single target.
And this is, it's all fine if you don't have the Lincolns, as long as you're getting the initiation first.
Yeah.
As long as you're able to get off Phantasm.
I think they're comfortable too because of the Wisp relocate.
Yeah.
Like if somebody gets doomed, who cares? Just let them use it.
Kinguin are going to go for a 5-man smoke here. They push down bottom lane. Mid is decently pushed in as well, but compLexity are standing in a tough area.
Yeah, they've got the high ground area completely locked in with sentries. They're going to spot
the first one who pops the smoke and immediately blinks back.
Kinguin right now, so the reason why they're not making more active plays is because the only time they can go for kills is when they smoke, which is why they do it again. Yeah, they're getting desperate now.
They're going to go the long wrap around and see if they can catch compLexity with their pants down.
This is... They have one more smoke after this, and if that one fails...
Oh no, Chessie. Is he making the read right now? He's putting himself on that high ground move. Okay, the smoke is popped onto Nietzsche. They know what's happening here. The Shadow Blade comes out, moves, starts flinging himself away. Kyle's going to be caught. Exotic here, easily focusing us down now. Chessie first, gets on the Phantasm, does this, he's going to jump in, but he also threw down the Doom. Limp though is doing so much damage with the Scotty. He's man fighting everyone, and Kinguin are losing this fight so badly. They managed to get the extra kill. He's just going to be caught, trying to TP out. Moo locks onto him with the Burrow Strike, and they got him. Hoping this will chase him down eventually.
Yeah, and also his corpse explodes.
In a venomous finale. 8-21, compLexity winning that fight 2-4. And they now open up. Roshan up?
So look at this replay.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Is this a replay?
It's coming.
Okay, here we go. So they open up, they kill Kyle, but the CK gets his ult off, and they're all grouped around this call down.
Yeah.
And the flag cannon does so much in the bottom move, just walks it in. They just chase everyone down. This gyrocopter is way too much of a menace.
Radiant's middle tower.
I mean, at the end of the day, compLexity did not care at all.
No,
Kyle got initiated, right? Like, they need to prevent Phantasm from being used. They need to prevent, like, gyrocopter from getting out BKB flat cannon. Like, the Doom's got to do one or the other, and it did neither.
Yeah, that wasn't even that bad of a fight for them. Because they did get the majority of their spells off. They got some kills to start. But the same problems have existed in their lineup. They now have a Blink Dagger on the Nyx Assassin, so it's marginally better. but you need better follow-up from Doom. Like, you need a different way to get on top of heroes. I think they were not expecting to be in this kind of game. You have a hero like Ogre that can just like Bloodlust, and maybe they get in a similar game. But this time around, they don't have Earth Spirit. They don't have this hero that initiates from such a far distance without Blink Dagger to start a fight for them. Like, they don't have this hero that just runs in, forces the engagement. This time, compLexity, they get to choose how the fights start. And they have so much follow-up that it's so advantageous for them.
A third smoke. Just 3 minutes being used here.
I think this is the last one. If this one fails, then they're effectively just stuck into a farming game where they have to counter shove out lanes.
Oh, they're going to try to sneak in Roche? Oh, they are.
compLexity.
Oh, boy.
This is pretty fast.
If they find out, this is going to be a disaster for Kinguin. And
they're all grouped up in an area.
Start sitting in the ball. But
it's gonna hit.
Kinguin has been discovered, but the Roche is dropping really low. They're going to pop their DKBs preemptively here, but now they're moving from Chessie. David's going to use some from Kyle. It's all BKB. They're turning his fight. The epicenter goes off. It's a lot of AoE damage. Decent fighting in the middle of the pit, but he dies. He does have the Aegis coming back, but it's again 5 more heroes of compLexity. There's no way he makes it out of this one alive. Chessie. Holy cow, that's a lot of damage from him. He had the cheese, but why even blow it against that many heroes from Cole?
And Kyle's fan is clapping in the background.
He has the
he
one
is
guy.
so excited right now for compLexity. Very smart heads-up play. You saw that Z-Freak was like, wait a minute, guys. Like, I gotta at least check this.
Yep.
They have a sneaking suspicion that that could be happening. compLexity, right under their noses, not gonna allow it to happen.
I mean, look at their team is like built for Roche fighting.
Yes.
Epicenter, Burrow, Call Down. Even Leshrac had a really good stun in there.
And Mu was very patient in that fight. He waited for the BKB durations to start ticking out. He didn't rush his stun. He knew that his team would be okay without him. Very well done. Kinguin, and that was the desperation play. I think it was a very good one. That was probably the best opportunity that they were going to get, because the only way that you're going to beat compLexity is by barreling down here. As you see, everyone jumps in. You notice Mu in the top left. He waits it out. That gets a very free ultimate.
And they honestly, they just don't have the damage. Like, Chessie's right in the middle, and they're trying to lay damage into him, and he only gets down to half HP.
Yeah, this Wisp is doing so much work right now.
Yeah, Z-Freak right on the outside, really good tether.
And Limp picks up his next major item with the butterfly. And Kinguin right now, it looks like... That's the annoying part, is you can't tell the smokes, like how many they have left. I'm pretty sure, though, Kinguin has no smokes left.
They used 3 in a row. There's no way that they have any
the back-to-back one.
Shop.
You rarely see that back-to-back one, which is why compLexity saw it coming. They're just like, they're most likely still looking for a fight, because they can't give up on those opportunities anymore.
Yeah.
But in this game now, it's going to come down to Kinguin playing the high ground game. Their inability to make moves with initiators means that they have to let compLexity come into them. That's how you force a move.
Does feel like that we're seeing a little bit different compLexity here in this game 3 against Kinguin. Such high stakes. We were talking to him earlier. It felt like compLexity, they didn't get beat. Some of their games, they felt like they lost.
Yeah.
Right? That they lost the lead that they had. And here, compLexity have been very patient, holding on to this game. All right, Attack Wisp is online.
On top of that, he's got the 60 damage, and he has a Vlad's.
Yeah.
And he's got an armlet.
And he's got an armlet.
Oh, Z-Freak's feeling himself right now.
Wow. I mean, he does it with the gyrocopter, so that's a lot of Wisp balls flying out.
17k lead, and this game feels really rough. I'm struggling to like find a way that Kinguin is supposed to win this.
They need picture-perfect initiations just to have a chance in a team fight.
But how? Like, the Doom, he has to Shadow Blade in every time, so it's not even like his initiations can be ideal. And Mu's got a gem now, so he's got to walk in. By that time, unless he finds like a high ground angle, Chessie will almost always get his ultimate off.
Yeah. There's even the... now have Reality Rift. Piercing spell immunity, so the BKBs from Kinguin still not going to prevent their deaths. Chessie's just going to be able to grab one of these heroes, pull him into the Phantasms.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now the top lane.
Are getting a tier 2 trade-off here, but compLexity are going to immediately go for the high ground. TPing back is Kinguin, but they're going to be a little bit late here. Or maybe not, they're good.
Yeah. This time around, they come back quite early. They understand that a trade is not good for them.
Yeah.
If they trade racks for racks, compLexity will just immediately barrel towards bottom once they're in the base on a post.
It did mean that weren't able to get that tier 2 finished off just yet.
Kyle's gonna find
what's he doing?
I guess they just poked. There must have been like some weird angle where he didn't see him.
All right.
A tithe to the impurities.
Kinguin just gathered up. They have a lot of invis. They've got 3 heroes that can go invisible.
compLexity really don't split up for very long.
Yeah. They don't. Not in this game. They understand their position in the game as Moo.
Gonna catch him. Finally, Lisak's gonna be spotted in these trees. He tried to go for it.
Yeah, he's saving his stun so he can't TP, but it's irrelevant. The damage is way too high.
Now 3 homing missile charges.
Is that the one to go for?
I think it's better than global call down in this kind of game. You're only fighting inside of Kinguin's base. I don't think you need a whole lot of range for your call down in this game.
That's true. They also have relocate to push out waves.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal. They're waiting for their creep wave, and then they'll go in.
Man, this gyrocopter wisp's actually crazy. Between like the Aghanims getting him the Sight Gunner,
yeah,
and then he's also attacking because the Sight Gunner's attacking.
You notice that the IO isn't committing to the tether quite yet? Because he's afraid of somebody getting doomed.
He's just chilling out. They are going to get the swap back onto Lim, and now to go for the recall back, but they do manage to get a chance to get a position to jump forward, trying to go for a Sonic here with the black-handed shots. Nisha barely managed to get the escape back, but here comes the epicenter, able to squeeze out both the Doom and the Nyx Assassin, even though they're going down, but Nisha, he was the target, the chance he was hoping to be able to get, and managed to get back to the fountain, but here comes the Doom already on him. Lim doesn't really care, he's just going to keep pushing forward, right-click down these heroes, 1, 2, 3, Kinguin are losing everybody, and they're going to call it here, GG. Kinguin is out, losing to compLexity, who are going to move on to top 4 here at the Perfect World Masters.
Very well clean game for compLexity. Unfortunate tournament run end for Kinguin, who I think surprised a lot of people. They gave teams a really good showing, topped the groups of course, so they can hold their heads up high in their first major international LAN.
Absolutely. I mean, Kinguin, they've been around for a while, right? But these guys are still young, and they still haven't experienced a whole lot of international Dota. And this is just the first taste for them. First of many, I'm sure. We're going to be seeing more of Team Kinguin, who are just going to get better off of experience like this. Meanwhile, compLexity. NA has had a kind of a rough run. And despite the qualifiers and people hyping them up and saying like, oh, NA's so strong, right? Every single
literally
LAN.
just Kyle, I think.
That's true, that's true. But every single time, right, we go to LAN and it doesn't actually, like maybe Immortals, right? They had a pretty decent showing.
They had a pretty decent run.
Yeah, but now we've got top 4 for compLexity. And they're going to be pretty happy with that one. We're going to take a, actually, we're just going to head straight on to the panel. Break down game number 3 and compLexity's victory over Kinguin.